I muted him, so maybe he can't hear me. Let me.
Ooh, let the 301 hum, bounce the bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all those gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you a bot, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. 301 in my hands, different drop, same plan. To my squad, I'm the man, I'm a witness, no I can't. Sending shots, no spam, accurate, watch them slam, watch them run while they can, make them slump. Give me the loot, take what I want, all of my rounds, light like the sun, yeah I am the one, lighting you up. R301, you're all that I need, you're all that I want. We at the top, act like we scum, taking your life and leaving the crumbs. Do what we want, we get the dub, living that life, yeah R301. I got the size, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standard mag, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standard mag, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. Ooh, let the 301 hum, bounce the bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all those gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you a bot, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, let the 301 hum, bounce the bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all those gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you a bot, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, let the 301 hum, bounce the bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all those gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you a bot, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, let the 301 hum, bounce the bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all those gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you a bot, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standard mag, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standard mag, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standard mag, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standard mag, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. I feel like I'm caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patiently wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. I'm knocked, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your back. I feel like I'm caustic, looting your buddy, your homie still choking on gas. I'm laughing, beating the enemy, hoping they pick up your slack. Yeah, winning now feels like a thing of the past. You're proud to go throw up the glass. We take what we want, we leave in the trash. Racking up facts as we move through the map. We're waiting for people to follow my trap. Running through the swamp, don't take what we want. Check it out, living some 50 game. What we owing, man, through the door, flat line, like you up. Always getting what we want, but it never is enough.
My methods are only controversial to those who lack imagination.
I feel like I'm caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patiently wait to attack. I feel like I've lost it, I see through the gas. Obnoxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your bag. I feel like I'm caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patiently wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. Obnoxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your bag. I'm throwing out cans, I'm betting you won't. Peacekeeper making you dance, you know I'm the GOAT. Champion squad, every time that we go, this legend control. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. I'm throwing out cans, I'm betting you won't. Peacekeeper making you dance, you know I'm the GOAT. Champion squad, every time that we go, this legend control. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. Yeah, hey, I climb to the top. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. let the 301 hum, bounce the bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all this gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you about, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. 301 in my hands, different drop, same plan. To my squad, I'm the man, I'ma win this, no I can't. Sending shots, no spam, accurate, watch them slam, watch them run while they can, make them slump. Give me the loot, take what I want, all of my rounds, light like the sun, yeah I am the one, lighting you up. R301, you're all that I need, you're all that I want. We at the top, act like we scum, taking your life and leaving the crumbs. Do what we want, we get the dub, living that life, yeah R301. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mag, more shots, standing stock, ready pop. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mag, more shots, standing stock, ready pop. Ooh, let the 301 hum, bounce the bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all this gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you about, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, let the 301 hum, bounce the bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all this gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you about, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, let the 301 hum, bounce the bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all this gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you about, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, let the 301 hum, bounce the bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all this gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you about, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mag, more shots, standing stock, ready pop. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mag, more shots, standing stock, ready pop. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mag, more shots, standing stock, ready pop. I got the sights, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mag, more shots, standing stock, ready pop. I feel like I'm caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patient we wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. Obnoxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your back. I feel like I'm caustic, looting your buddy, your homie still choking on gas. I'm laughing, beating the enemy, hoping they pick up your slack. Yeah, winning now feels like a thing of the past. The bros are gonna throw up the glass, we take what we want, we leave in the trash. Racking up facts as we move through the map, we're waiting for people to follow my track. Running through the swamp, don't take what we want, take it down, living some 50 gang, what we owe, man, through the door, flat line, like you up, always getting what we want, but it never is enough.
Finance and sorrow, controversial to those who lack imagination.
I feel like I'm caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patient we wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. Obnoxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your bag. I feel like I'm caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patient we wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. Obnoxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your bag. I'm throwing out cans, I'm betting you won't. Peacekeeper making you dance, you know I'm the GOAT. Champion squad, every time that we go, this legend control. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. I'm throwing out cans, I'm betting you won't. Peacekeeper making you dance, you know I'm the GOAT. Champion squad, every time that we go, this legend control. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. Yeah, hey, I climb to the top. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all this gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you about, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. 301 in my hands, different drop, same plan. To my squad, I'm the man, I'm a witness, no I can't. Sending shots, no spam, accurate, watch them slam, watch them run while they can, make them slump. Give me the loot, take what I want, all of my rounds, a light like the sun, yeah I am the one, lighting you up. R301, you're all that I need, you're all that I want. We at the top, act like we scum, taking your life and leaving the crumbs. Do what we want, we get the dub, living that life, yeah R301. I got the size, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mad, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. I got the size, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mad, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all this gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you about, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all this gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you about, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all this gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you about, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh God, all this gas making you cough, feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you about, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. I got the size, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mad, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. I got the size, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mad, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. I got the size, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mad, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. I got the size, H-Cog, barrel stabilized, no rock. Standing mad, more shots, standard stock, ready pop.
I can't believe it took me this long, Tom.
I don't know if that's comment or not, Jamerson. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I could take it seriously. Are you
No,
capping
I
over
I
here?
can't believe it took like maybe 4 years that I've known you for me to actually figure that out. But you know what? Let's
And
go ahead and talk about what's going on today. We had 34, maybe I think 35 teams signed up for the North American Weekly. Of course, we filtered it all down, and now we are moving on to our grand finals, which will be starting off in a few more minutes. But what is the exact format that our teams will be competing in today, Tom?
yeah, so these guys have been playing for the last couple hours. Obviously, they played yesterday in GLL. They played over, throughout the weekend in the ALGS, and they're still going at it in the weeklies. And why not? Because this is the best practice really that you're getting besides actual scrims. Scrims, no one's really taking it seriously. And if you haven't paid attention, Aim Assist won the last ALGS. They've been performing the best right there with Rogue and TSM in the weekly ESAs. So they're playing 3 games. I believe they're going to play 4 here in the finals.
That's correct. So it's going to come down to just 4 games. It's not like the 5 game or the 6 game sets that we're used to seeing in things like GLL and ALGS. So every single game is going to count. You have to put up numbers. And how exactly do our teams accrue points throughout these 4 games, Tom?
Yeah, so they're based on placement and kill points. So kill point equals 1 point, and then it kind of filters down from 12 all the way down to 1 point. If you don't place in the top 15, you don't even get a single point. So every single placing really matters. There's little in betweens here and there, like, fifth through all of a sudden eighth is a couple different points. But realistically, you want to try to find yourself in that top 5 with a decent amount of kills if you want to stand any chance consistently of getting into the top 3.
Now, and we talk about a decent amount of skills, and we have to talk about one of our champions here for the weeklies. We have multiple, of course, teams like Liquid and Rogue, but Aim Assist made a huge splash this weekend, and they're making a huge splash in just the kind of competitive meta right now. They dropped, I believe, 2 games with 14 kills, along with the win this weekend during the ALGS. One was on Kings Canyon, one was on World's Edge. We're only going to be playing on World's Edge, but it's a full controller it's a full controller squad, and their kind of performance really did shake things up. And now some teams are making adjustments to maybe try to try out the controller themselves. Tom.
Yeah, you saw complexity. They switched beforehand. Albrelli and Hal have talked about doing it as well. I'm not sure if they're going to actually do it, but it doesn't really have as much to do with the fact that they use a controller as it does that they've been a same team for the entirety. They're not one of these teams that have go and changed rosters like you see virtually every other unsigned team do to go and find the 3 that they're comfortable playing with. These guys were playing on console together before. They come and they play on PC together as well. And I think that's one of the most overlooked things is team changes and having to reset. You're not going to just magically get some sort of roster that's going to win a tournament. You have to stick it through. You have to talk about things. You have to give each other constructive criticism. And that's why they've been able to take themselves from a team that wasn't really talked about all the way to ALGS champions.
Yeah, they made, I believe, the swap on over from console over to PC maybe earlier this year or just around the end of last year. And since then, they've been grinding it out. Every online tournament, they've been competing here as a Aim Assist, and they've been getting better and better. And it's so difficult to challenge them at times. We'll see if they can repeat the performance from this weekend. But we've got a stacked lobby once again. Of course, we have to mention Team Liquid's going to be playing this time around. They don't have Casper as he's busy today. And so they're actually filling in with Reptar from Complexity. So that's going to be a thing. We've got 303 Esports, of course, the McCarthy brothers and Protectful coming in. SJP2 would be representing EU. We got Sentinels, and along with MVP, Madness, Vax, and POW. As it looks like we are heading into game number 1 for this week. Let's go ahead and get right into this. If we can just, might as well join up on Aim Assist. I mean, they were the champions for this weekend, so I think we should give them some of the due respect that being the champions earns you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right now, we're looking at what is Urice, Tech, and Pandas. I believe Lion is on the squad, and Urice is just filling in. Unless they could be trying out Urice over Lion. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to get intel on that afterwards. But either way, still the same team comp that they were running before. Now, if you look at Designville, Gentrify, and Results, or team number 13, that's the team that we're talking about. And these guys are, interestingly enough, not running a Watson or a Caustic. So if you noticed with these guys, you can see Team 13 has almost the same, comp as a lot of people, except they're not running these type of hold inside champions like a Caustic, like a Watson, like Rogue does, like TSM does. Now, one team that doesn't care about what team composition they're running has been Reptar and Complexity in the past. They're busting out that Bloodhound and keeping it. Jamerson, what do you think of the Bloodhound play?
Yeah, we should go over to Team 13 right now, though, because they are in the fight. That's the team that we were talking about. There we go. They're getting challenged over here at Thermal Station right now, and we've actually had a number of fights taking place. But it's gentrifying to go down first, and a team that you've got to understand, this is where aim assist drop. They've bullied a lot of other teams out of here, but now they're on the back foot as gentrifying's already down. Designful's only got the longbow and a P2K, and that's not the exact loadout that you want to be working with.
In order for them to get this res, he has to do something with the longbow here. He has to hit 1 or 2 shots, lay some sort of damage. There it is. Knocks down Hierarchy, excuse me, and they get the res up. But longbow P20 is not the best right here. It has to land another shot, and they do. So fortunately, they already had 2 down. You could see everybody was fairly poverty, Jamerson, except for Designful, who had that purple armor. So 3 kill points right there going on over to the team that won the previous tournament in aim assists, and that's not where you want to drop. That's one of the worst places to drop. There's a reason that people don't contest over towards Fragment. People don't contest Train Station. People don't contest Thermal. People rarely contest Mirage when you have Rogue inside. That's because you know where they're going to land, and you have to respect these teams.
Yeah, going over to Rogue, by the way, as we know that they do drop over at Mirage. They were able to grab the beacon. We're not challenged. Dropped with a purple armor. Snipe Down's got the blue, and Sweet is holding on to that Evo. I kind of want to see them, swap that over as they make this rotation. But we saw, if we can bring up the map, that it is going to be what should be a tree circle by all indications, which is why Rogue is already making this rotation in.
And one of the things to keep in mind is that Rogue's probably going to go right past where aim assist was. And aim assist, they're messed up on the rotation because of the fact that they had to fight so early. So you can see them still looting. They're the red arrows over towards the right. If any of them was to mess up and charge across here while Rogue is rotating, their game is virtually done. But Rogue's not going to sit there. They don't really realize what's going on in terms of where these guys are located, because in tree circles, you have to get there ASAP. And it looks like they're going to be the 3rd team into tree, which is pretty big. Meanwhile, a team that's trying to get to tree is going to be TSM.
Yeah, TSM, though, they have changed things up. As you can see, Reps is on that Crypto, excuse me. Don't really get to see him often here, but they're still using their same drop here as they go over to Fragment East, but they're now playing a lot more edge. If you've been watching them on scrims, they've been playing edge here, and they're trying to really make up for the early game kill points that they generally give up because of their early rotation. So I like this adjustment coming out from them. They're going to try and find more fights on the edge.
If you're ever going to practice anything, this is the time to do it. And they're really good at team fighting, so I'm okay with them doing this. I really think the problem that TSM had in the past is that they've played almost too perfectly, where they get into these amazing spots where the circle is going to end, and they hold these spots. And because they're in such good spots and everyone else is getting held out, they don't get as many kill points as other teams. And that's where you think about running Gibraltar instead of Pathfinder, because you do get a beacon when you drop over on this fragment side. I would say about 75% of the time. So when you do drop somewhere and you don't get the beacon, Pathfinder almost becomes useless, because then the next closest beacon is going to be over towards No Name on the southeast side. So I do like them trying new things. It's interesting to see that they're going with Crypto Gibby as the comp instead of Revenant as well, but you didn't see any Revenants in the finals, and there's a reason why, because when you engage in a finals situation, you are just asking to get third-partied. So it's pretty tough to go and continue to do that against really high-skilled players. You could tend to pick off the players that aren't within the top 10 ranks in the ALGS points, but I like this comp, and we're going to see how it works out for them.
Yeah, and so we're going to go back over to Rogue right now as they've got their position here. They are playing smack dab in the middle of tree, which can be a little bit difficult as it is quite open. There's already a team to their south as well in that main compound. So they've just got to be careful trying to hold this position as more and more teams crowd the area.
This is one of the more difficult areas to hold, but it has a huge return. The thing that you have to deal with is what you're seeing, like, and what you talked about, Jamerson, is that Southwest team with the scout. And then if a team gets onto that high ground right above that tunnel entrance where the train comes out of and inside of, that's the team that's really going to screw you over the most if they have scouts. And I would say that's probably the best spot to hold in this typical circle on top of the buildings behind. So this could be something that they're trying. They maybe want to say, all right, we're going to play down low here, which I like a little bit better. Playing up high really leaves you susceptible to getting just bullied everywhere. And you can't hold this if you don't have any resources, especially with the change to the Watson gen. But you can see Snipe Down sitting on 10 cells. Dropped has a purple armor. You have an Evo charge being up by Evo shield being charged up by Sweet. So they're just going to continue to run around in circles here, and that's why they're not staying still, Jamerson. If you were just to try to challenge people here, you're going to get picked apart, and then you're going to lose a lot of your resources. So they're just kind of running around in circles, realistically.
Yeah, here we are on board with Metro, Naughty, and Serial. They are not very far off. One of the teams that are starting to converge upon this tree circle. I don't know if they have information. It doesn't look like they know where the circle is, right, with the Pathfinder beacon, but everyone's aware of what it is. You can tell that this is going to be a tree circle just off the first circle alone. And so they're just getting in position for that now. They do have someone in their way, which is why they're taking this high ground here, which is still a good position when you're playing in Sorting Factory.
You have to think about all the teams that are going to be rotating towards this area from sorting. And if they're smart, they're going to kind of avoid this spot. You're going to try to rotate towards Harvester if you're any team, because going and challenging Serial's team doesn't make much sense. Yeah, you do have only a white Evo, but as soon as he charges that up, it's going to be extremely difficult. A team had already taken Donut, and this is probably the best spot that you want to be, as we have a huge fight happening over towards the fences side.
Yeah, this is not too far off, but it was some trades. Vax will get picked up, and that's going to be, of course, Team MVP. Staying alive for now. You do have to stabilize here as Vax is low and get that thirst, and that'll be the first kill point going over. That's going to be Haruki going down.
Yeah, the team just bailed on him at that point. They said, hey, sorry, we can't even play your banner. We just got to go as a two-man at this point. Every placement point matters. Every kill matters. You don't want to even give kills over to a top team like MVP. So Madden's just hunting around right now, just possibly looking for more kills because he really wants to upgrade his armor, and he knows that they're in a 2-on-3 situation. So as the Wraith playing aggressive, and you can see the Evo shield got charged up by Sweet, and a lot of action happening over here.
Yeah, as you can see, a lot of damage there. I believe that was Sentinels that was trying to grab that beacon, and you saw that they were trying to use, of course, the Gibraltar bubble to get him safe, but Sweet. We know how strong Rogue are when they've got these G7 scouts on their hands and how strong they connect. So if we could swap on over to Sentinels, who were able to get that information for us for the ring, we'll get a better idea of where this is going to go.
Looks like it's rotating more towards sorting side. So this could end over towards the blue truck area that's happening between sorting and tree. This could also end at one of those areas in sorting side that is towards tree, maybe out in front of the donut, right below the donut. But there's so many small endings right in that general vicinity that when you're in this area as Sentinels and you think that you're going to be in a good spot, hitting that beacon really shows you that you're going to have to make a rotation.
Matt Pickett's team now in a lot of trouble here as Crummy was able to get out, but now it's going to be full three-man push onto him as Blur will go down. That's Tech and Panders. They're able to find him, and LTP will be able to pick up 2 kill points there. Will they get the third onto Crummy as he's going to try and bail out of this one?
I really think if you're running Pathfinder still, or if you're not running Pathfinder, that the best third in this composition would be Caustic. I really do. I think that we're gonna need to see more Wraith, Gibby, and Caustics. I think Bloodhound is strong, but he just doesn't really offer anything, to me, as valuable as these other characters. Yes, you get the scan and things like that, but it's just so valuable having that peace of mind of if you do get a building and you need to hold something, that you're going to have that Caustic or that Watson. So I would like to see more people try that composition out, but I also am a big fan of seeing the Pathfinder Wraith Crypto combo, because this is the most aggressive team that you can have. Both Pathfinder and Wraith can go in, and I would like to see TSM run this, because while Albrelli is a very strong player just in general, I still think he's the best Pathfinder in the world. And I get trying Gibby. Gibby's extremely strong. You almost have to have a Gibby, some teams say. But when you have the best Pathfinder in the world, I really think that you should utilize it.
All right, on board with aim assist. We saw Liquid just beforehand. They were making the rotation through the Sorting Factory train tunnel there. But It looks like they were just kept a little bit on board with Aim Assist, who are currently, they've been fragging out. They already have 5 kills to their name. Remember, they started off with the 3, taking that 50-50 fight early on, and then picked up 2 more here. So an early start for our ALGS champions.
There's no doubt about it that once you're playing Edge, you just continue to play Edge. There's no reason for them to try to force anything, to try to get inside of Tree. A couple of the teams have been wrong in terms of predicting this circle, but remember, one of the power spots that we talked about is up here to their left, right above that train tunnel entrance. So instead of letting teams go and push to that area where they may even have to drop, or you can get shot over towards the team that's over towards the right or over towards Tree, they're making sure their back's clear, and they're just going to hold this spot because this is a very powerful position.
Yeah, very powerful indeed. Just in case maybe any team tries to make the rotate from the north, and we'll see. As we are on board with 303, they're in the middle of a fight now. Of course, a lot of these buildings we see getting split up from the bottom and the top floor. It's always Senpai taking a lot of damage. He's going to get knocked here. Have they been able to do enough? They traded away for at least 1. They can go for the jib res if they want to, but it's more about covering the top. They push forward. And it looks like Live in Effect will go down. And so 303 will be able to pick up that kill point, and they'll have better control over this building.
Great job picking up that kill point. The team bailed right there. It's good to hold the bottom here. I think it's safer than holding the top. I like this play to have the Watson putting the gen in the back here. You have plenty of time to set up here, regen your shields if you don't have many resources, but you have Sentinels going in over towards this truck area, which is another power position that they wanted to lock down, taking out Buzzbee's team.
Yeah, Prodigy Aces is still alive. Typically, of course, that Wraith is going to be able to get out with the Q and the port. And so now Prodigy Aces is just going to try his best to rat this one out. I don't know if he'll be able to recover Joey Blackout for himself. But right now, we're already down to 16 squads with 42 players remaining. Holding this truck over here. Sentinels know this position. This is also one of those very strong positions here in Tree Side.
Definitely strong when you have this type of combination as well. Scout, Prowler. We saw this being rocked by Aim Assist a ton. Mastiff, to me, is a little bit inconsistent, but if you are able to hit the big shots with it, you can rip people extremely hard. Now looking at what Liquid's doing with Reptar subbing in instead of Casper, they're over towards the Harvester side. So you see so many teams, Jamerson, playing the edge here.
Yeah, it looked like Reptar had just finished using his On the Hunt, and they were trying to find a kill. They've got a ping, and it looks like they do want to make a push for this building. They've got about 40 seconds left before the ring starts pressuring them behind. And we'll see if they can expertly crack this one right now. One on the roof, a few inside, as they've got to be careful. There are still a few other teams in the area.
They have to hit a fat Bloodhound scout here and see exactly where these guys are. Switching on board to Sentinels. Peach lost all of his armor already, but you can see they're just chilling. You see Crust playing up front because he's going to be the aggressor here. Flanker outside with the bubble. These guys now finally found that fight inside of the snake here.
Yeah, they got some good damage off, but Flanker almost cracked there, along with Nocturnal getting hit by that wingman from a long distance. And so now this fight is going to slow down as both teams, Liquid and whomever's inside, are going to be able to just reset. But that puts Liquid at a little bit of a disadvantage here. They do, of course, they're playing on the outside, and so they're going to be a little bit more vulnerable now. But it looks like Nocturnal's just going to call the retreat, and they want to try and go for the third party here. That might be TSM in front of them.
I believe that team had a Caustic, and that's why they're like, screw that, let's not even go and push in that. And I think that is the TSM versus MVP fight that you're talking about, Jamerson, over towards the fence where they were held up earlier. Nice little landing right there. There goes the Bloodhound scan. That's also going to give away which team that you're going up against. White armor is coming out from the TSM side, but you see Nocturnal getting shot from the side. This is a fight they have to take ASAP.
Yeah, and they were so close, but now Nocturnal is down to about 30 HP here. They've got the Gibraltar bubble. They need to push this before they get the reset. No armor swap for Nocturnal. As he pushes into the bubble, it's going to be Reps with the PK. Takes one out. Liquid's flanker does answer back, and now that's going to be the 1v2 here. But no, he still has the purple armor. Reps, he's going to be able to clutch this out. Flanker's going to try his best. He still has the arm shield to work with, but the PK is just too much. Reps will be able to finish that off, and TSM have 6 kills. But now here comes the 4th party, as Stunny will be able to finish off Imperial Howl. Reps is going to try and run away, but he will ultimately fall. Throughout all of that, though, MVP are still alive. And by that, I just mean Pow Pow. He's going to be a solo as the Pathfinder for the squad, and so he somehow gets out of there alive, and MVP will be able to continue this game with 2 kills to their name. On board with aim assist, who have been holding this angle the entire time. They've been gifted this ring over and over again as it continues to pull to them. I expect the next ring after, though, to start pulling over to the triangle.
I believe this ends right where Rogue was setting up earlier, bottom middle, and more over towards that triangle like you're talking about. So again, all of the spots, the power spots that we touched base on early in the game are still the best spots to be in, especially where Rogue was set up earlier. And you see R9 EVA 8 here, he can't really do much if you're gentrifying to go and try to have some sort of influence from this spot. You're really just watching your teammates' backs, and then if you see something crazy, you're going to go and portal towards it. But I just want to touch base on the MVP TSM fight that happened. And yeah, one player from MVP makes it out, but that's just so unlucky for TSM, because if you saw Liquid go into that building and they end up taking that fight, you're never going to get third party and your game's going to go on. You could potentially win this with a ton of kills, but unfortunately for them, I believe it was this team here, Borton and Davis's team, that was over towards the snake that just kept these guys out and forced them to go third party that fight.
Well, here we go. The Caustic ult's out by Borton here. He's not getting any connects with it, so it's a little bit short. We'll cover his back with that and throw down an extra barrel just to cover that port. But it looks like they do find a moment of reprieve here, as they do have the bridge to work with. Back on board with aim assist, who have still been holding this position. They've been trying to use these weapons to good effect, but they just haven't been able to pick up any extra kills here, but that's okay. This is one of those squads that as the ring gets closer and closer and you find these battles that are within the proper range for them, they get to absolutely melt people right now. And so Designful getting tagged just a little bit, but he spots one out and he's gonna have to back away.
He is broke right now in terms of how many cells he has. This is his last battery. He has one more cell and 4 syringes. Not sure how many med kits he has, but there's just very little resources coming out from these guys, mainly because they've been fighting so much, and the people that they fought probably didn't have any resources either, and maybe the fights were elongated. So here's the spot you want to be. This fight is absolutely huge for Sentinels. A team is trying to take their building right now, and this building, sometimes you end up just splitting it top and bottom with other really good teams, but if you fight here, you may get third partied, so Sentinels has to be extremely careful.
Yeah, the difficulty is, of course, they don't have that Watson, so they can't really cover both that exit along with the stairwell now, but it's Sentinels. They stop people just with their sheer aim right now, as we do see on the minimap that is where the circle is pulling over to this building along with the building to the north, and so that's going to be open for them. If we go on over to Team 20, Team Rogue right now on the outside, who have an excellent angle from the top of the triangle, trying to pick up extra kill points along the way, but we'll see. They don't have much of a run. I don't know if they've got cover to work with if they drop down from this, but they seem confident. There's 20 seconds left. They know the timings on these rings. They'll be okay.
I believe that's still Borton's team that they're trying to bully over here underneath the bridge, Z Davis and the rest of those guys, but that's a tough spot because the circle's moving in 5 seconds, and they have the right idea. This should be their kill points if they're able to land a couple more shots. 1 or 2 people should be watching their back as the other person finds a safe spot to move, and that's the pings that you see going down. So 9 squads left, circle moving. A lot of teams going to die here with a great headshot from Snipe Down.
Yeah, headshot onto that one. Now they see him on the low ground. Another 47 there onto the purple armor. Cracks him. They just want this KP. Snipe Down, he's got the R99 to work with. They've done a lot of damage. Don't know if they're going to drop down quite yet. There we go. Dropped, picks one up. That's going to be Panders going down now as Snipe Down is making his move. The zone 2 is back right now. They've got a little sliver of hill to work, but there's another team in front of them. It's going to be dropped going down to stay naughty here. Snipe Down trying his best, but it looks like Rogue committed way too much to try to go for that gatekeep, and they will go down as the 5th squad left.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't try to find a little bit safer ground to go and play with as they were going and worrying about that team rotating, but maybe they also made the call that they were screwed, everything was taken, and they just have to get as many kill points as possible because so many teams are going to die as this zone moves in. So not sure what the comms or the plan was there, but that was definitely not the game-winning play if that's what we're talking about. And sometimes that's just how tree circles are, because it's so important to get to these spots early, like these buildings, and sometimes you get the building, sometimes you don't, and if you do, you're guaranteed top 5, just like how Sentinels has been able to do this entire game.
Yeah, let's hit that tab button real quickly just to show everyone where we're at right now. It's 3 squads left with 1 Prodigy Aces as the solo. You can hit tab once again now so we can get it back to the fight. Eesh! Finally finds him out, but Prodigy Aces is able to rat out for that 4th. But during that time, 303 finds the kill on Tsquared, and they've already used that bubble. It's coming up in another 5 seconds, but he gets thirsted, so there's no opportunity for the res. Right now, what Sentinels need to do is just try and not get any kind of attention pulled their way, but that Devo just doing so much damage now. As the next ring pulls away from this building, it's going to be Serial, Naughty, and Metro that have a great angle for this. They've got the high ground.
Yeah.
They've got a crossfire set up.
And this is what I thought Rogue should have done. And I thought Snipedown was going to take this route to run on top of this. The problem was Serial, Naughty, and Metro were all located. Nice spray right there from Serial. That whole team was located in this building. So they do a super smart rotate. And now they're going to use the Gibby bubbles to go and just try to push in and try to end this fight as the perfect third party coming in.
Yeah, this is the Venn diagram of death coming out here as Serial takes so much damage. We'll be able to finish him off, but it looks like Sentinels might have just clutched this. It's Xenox versus Metro right now. Xenox has so much HP left. He had that red Evo shield, and Sentinels will be able to hold on and take the win.
Great job right there by a whole Sentinel squad, but holy cow, what a play from Xenox coming in. You saw they had no idea which angle that they were being shot from. Just great shots overall, ripping their shields extremely fast. He still had full armor at the end of that fight too, so fantastic job from Sentinels. We saw so much of their point of view a majority of that game. They just swapped from building to building. They were hitting the beacons, getting information. There was a lot of stuff going on in that game that provided them with the win. But moving from sorting factory to tree is one of the best rotations for them. So keep that in mind, that a lot of other teams really got held out and they were fairly close to where that circle is. So when you give a team like Sentinels either a sorting factory or a tree ending or right across from sorting in those houses, they're going to get top 5 1,000%. And then it's just a matter of trying to eliminate them out of the lobby.
Yeah, it's been some growing pains for Sentinels, by the way, for the last few weeks that they've been really trying to adjust, right? They tried to play the very aggressive edge, and there were times where those games netted them a lot of kills. This one in particular, though, got them 9, and so they'll be walking away with 20, oh my gosh, why can't I do the math right
21.
now? 21 kill points, yeah, or 21 points total, with the plus 12 from first place. So great job by Sentinels, but we're seeing Sentinels make an adjustment. We saw them play, of course, a lot of edge, but now they're bringing the Pathfinder in. They were playing Watson and trying to play old standard, but they're now playing, of course, you saw the Gibraltar, the Wraith, and the Pathfinder, and it feels like that they are finally getting into the rhythm of this composition.
Yeah, and that's the same comp that Aim Assist is running. And I think that's one of the strongest comps, especially if you're going to land somewhere like sorting and get a guaranteed beacon every single time, because I think there's 2 or 3 beacon spawns right there. So you're basically guaranteed one. And I just am so impressed the way that Senox was able to play that at the very end, because it looked like Serial and friends had that one in the bag. They were coming in for the third party. It wasn't the cleanest shots we've ever seen, but I guarantee if we're on Senox's screen, he was playing that absolutely perfectly in terms of decision making and his shots in general. Those guys really didn't even stand a chance. Like we said, he had all of his armor still at the end. So just really heads up play there for Sentinels. Unfortunately, if you're a TSM fan, they got extremely unlucky. Liquid came in, pushed them over towards the fence for the third party. Not only that, the 4th and 5th party kept coming in, especially after they won that fight against MVP so cleanly. But it's been exciting. Again, so many different team compositions. I love seeing this.
Yeah, it was an exciting game number 1. Exactly what we want to see here to start it all off. But we got 3 more matches underway. And before we get there, we have to take a short break. When we get back, we'll have game number 2 of the Esports Arena North American Weekly 1K. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patient we wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. I'm noxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your back. I feel like I'm caustic, looting your buddy, your homie still choking on gas. I'm laughing, baiting the enemy, hoping they pick up your slack. Yeah, winning now feels like a thing of the past. Your bros are gonna throw up the glass, we take what we want, we leave in the trash. Racking up facts as we move through the map, we're waiting for people to follow my trap. Running through the swamp, don't take what we want, check it out, living some 50 game, what we owe, and man, through the door, flat line, like you up, always getting what we want, but it never is enough.
My methods are only controversial to those who lack it.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Esports Arena North American Weekly 1K. Jamerson here, joined once again by Tom Tsquared Taylor. I love saying that name, by the way. Just the alliteration of the TTT. You did branding perfectly. So I just want to let you know. But we do have the results, of course, after game number 1. So if we can go ahead and bring up the scoreboard here, as we did mention before the break, of course, Sentinels with a huge game number 1, taking that win, coming back, of course, coming down as a two-man squad left there. In that final circle, they still ended up with the victory along with 9 kill points. And so they walked away with 21 points total, putting them in first place. Just behind them, though, this isn't, like a huge blowout victory for them. And so Team Bots will be actually right behind them at 16 points in second place. And then Team I Press W is behind them as well with 14. So there's no big breakaway quite yet.
No, not at all. But just the way that Sentinels played that, you can't give them enough credit. Fantastic job from them. Again, not many points differentiating first and second, but it's not that many points that they put up. Keep in mind, 21, it's a decent amount, but it's not something that you can't come back from. 30, on the other hand, dropping a 30 bomb is some next level stuff. If you're able to drop like 15, not taking anything away from a win, a dub's a dub. But I'm just saying that other teams have a chance to come up for sure.
Yeah, 14-15 is like kind of where you're like, wow, that was a really good game. But this was definitely, you got to say, was a great one. I think that Gibraltar Ultimate really coming down and the bubbles really slowing down. I forget who was the squad that had that high ground position and tried to push both bubbles. That's what slowed them down. I think they got hit by a few of the Gibraltar defensive bombardments. And then from there, they just couldn't pressure the bubbles like they would have so wanted to. And it got a little bit lost, I think, as they were trying to take that team fight. By all kind of assessments, that should have been a one-team fight for them.
Yeah, I'd say lost is the right word. You saw a little hesitation, I think, from Serial in terms of if he wanted to go inside the bubble or not. I'm surprised he didn't just go right into that bubble from behind. He wasted his grapple to go all the way around over towards the side, try to avoid the Gibraltar ult. Great Gibraltar ult, all great bubbles, but no one kept track of Sentinels. They were able to evade from that fight. You saw they ended up getting away from the fight and sneaking from being the team that was fighting 2 out of the 3 teams to being the team come in for the third party. So just a little bit of miscommunication or a little bit of, I would say, misplay coming in from the guys. But either way, still putting up 16 points. It's still a great job, and they took some really good angles. Going up over on top of the tree was a great idea. Going up over towards the branch was a great idea. Just got to really clean up those bubble fights, and sometimes it comes down to whether you hit your massive shots or not, or you hit the massive and it really just doesn't do anything. And that's why you're seeing a lot of people rock the Prowler.
Yeah, and it looks like we are heading into game number 2. Just a moment, folks, with us. Give me just a second.
Might be something good this way.
Yeah, game number 2 of the finals. If you guys are just joining us, we play 4 games. Sentinels took the first game. Serial and his squad ended up placing second. Not sure who got third, but you saw some solid plays overall from everybody. Really, everyone playing at the top of their game right now. TSM, they had an unfortunate game. Liquid fell fairly early, MVP as well. So keep out for those teams to really bounce back. Same with Aim Assist.
Yeah, and Amos is actually taking a fight once again over there by Thermal Station. They're getting dropped on by Hierarcho Squad. That is another EU team that is competing in our North American Weekly. You're allowed to do that, but it looks like every team that comes up against Aim Assist there have to learn the hard way. You do not challenge them at Thermal.
They have a lot of Twitter clips of them just getting in these crazy brawls. I'll never forget, I think it was Taxi's team that they fought over towards the more south side of Thermal, and it was just a 3-on-3 fist battle. No one even
Yeah.
got a gun. So it was like, who wants to challenge someone that psycho where they're willing to just go and punch you out? No thanks. I'm going and landing somewhere else. There's plenty of areas that you can go. And if you didn't learn the first time, maybe you'll learn the second time.
Oh, as we see right there at the end, Resulta will be able to find out Hayarka and finish him off. And so that's going to be another 3 points again early on for aim assist here, as we are on board with Team Liquid right now. And well, it's Liquid plus Reptar. And they're trying out, of course, Reptar's Bloodhound, which has been used to great effect from Complexity. So I don't know, maybe Liquid try out this comp themselves.
We'll see. I don't think that Casper's going to go and switch over because he's a pretty solid Pathfinder, and I think that's more into their play style. But it's fun to have a Bloodhound on your team. You do get that free scan when you're playing at the highest level. It's very rare that you can go and pinpoint exactly where players are, especially when they're going and hiding inside of a building. And take a look at the team that got second in the previous game. That's Naughty Serial and Metro. They're landing over towards the construction building, and they're just clearing this area out. You know who's on the other side. That's going to be TSM. More fights breaking out this time. Jamerson over towards, oh no, not a fight. Just going and shooting the bots that's flying in the air to pick up a nice little gold helmet for your Gibraltar. Always solid to get those bubbles down and to get that defensive bombardment back as fast as possible.
Yeah, that was SJP2, who are known for really taking that up there. But take a look, TSM now finding a team over at No Name. There's a Caustic inside as, Imperial Hal not able to just roll that nade on over. You saw him take a look. It's like, how'd that happen? Now the Caustic will slow things down along with his Gibraltar ultimate here, as Hal is just going to go ahead and port them out. Try to get them a safe angle just in case the third party comes in, because you never know. The Overlook team could be here. The Refinery team could be here. And so I like how cautious that they're taking this approach.
Yeah, Hal obviously was never a solid bowler growing up, but always really good with the grenades. Couldn't bowl that one into the window. Gets hit for 100, though, with a frag immediately. He's the only one that seems to be a little concerned with taking this fight. The rest of his squad is really adamant about pushing this building.
Yeah, after a while, of course, that Caustic's going to run out of barrels here, as we have Alberlele up top taking that Gibraltar versus Gibraltar battle. But now it's Reps by himself. He did get the knock into Z Davis. Another good hit with the massive coming out from Imperial Hal, and TSM will be able to weather the storm. They take that victory, but the third party's already coming in, along
And
with
you
the
know
fourth
who
party.
that is. You know who that is. Once you see that Bloodhound scan coming in, that's going to be Liquid and Complexity. Great grenades, going to crack for 75. Nice little massive shot going on there. The Bloodhound doesn't drop, has to be at least 1 HP over towards the roof. As a couple thermites coming in. So nonstop action over here towards No Name. And this is that time where the fights really start to break out. Right when that first circle is closing, teams are starting to rotate and they hear the first shots of the game.
And so TSM were able to weather that storm, but it's Sentinels and Aim Assist that are actually taking a fight right now. So we can go on over to them. There we go. We see that Sentinels made this rotation on over. They were able to get the ring, and they note that it is going to be somewhere over here by the platform, as they were able to get that thirst onto Resulta. And so Aim Assist, not having the greatest start here, but we'll see if they can actually recover Resulta, as it looks like they already did grab his beacon.
Yeah, and the fact that they land Thermal means they'll probably res him in the very back of Thermal. No one's going to rotate over there unless the tree team decides that they want to take a long rotation out. But this circle here, there's a couple of power positions. One is where Sentinels are, and we know that they are a top team, so this is definitely a top spot to hold. The fence over towards the right, where he just checked out, is also very powerful. Or you could just try to hold somewhere in Thermal in general, too. There's that area over towards the right side of the fence that you could hold, and also there's a couple of houses across over towards their north side.
All right, on board. Looks like just the tail end of a fight here. Vusby just got res, and he was saved. If we can go ahead and bring up the map real quickly to see who's around them as they make up this rotation here. Of course, we are very familiar with this spot. We were just here in the game before. Ooh, the Arc Star, did it get in? They're going to be able to dodge that for now, as it looks like the team might have them pinned down here. Joey Blackout taking some damage on that gold armor. And so Prodigy Ace's squad having a little bit of difficulty as they try to make this advance in rotation.
This team is really annoying for them as they try to get out of here. They're going to have to just flank hard left unless they want to take this one. Doing a couple armor checks, finding out that they have purple. You can see Another fight going on with the aim assist. They're being taken out by Sentinels again because of the fact that they got that res off. So that's going to bring a lot of heat over towards this side as you see Resulter trying to stay alive. Doesn't have bubble, so he's not going to be able to get the res off. And here's the rest of Sentinels pushing in.
Yeah, we do have Peach all the way back, but it's okay. Senox is there. That Mastiff once again doing so much damage as they're going to be able to finish off Designful. It's just Gentrifying still alive here as Senox gets that quick armor swap, but it's already almost broken now as he has to try and back away. It's a third party coming out from SJP2. Crust is going to have to give up Senox as he will get finished off. Never mind, he does port forward once again. But SJP2, they're going to be able to pick up all this loot here. Seaback already dropped down to 50 HP. They do have to be careful themselves. A lot of teams currently in this area. Looks like 3 total. But SJP2 will be able to stabilize. Oh, one on his left.
You could see Denze was trying to go for his phase there, but he ended up climbing the wall and it canceled it. And then he realized he could just hit a battery instead. And you're right, Jamerson, there's too many teams for them to commit to this. They need to just take what they got, get that kill point and leave. Now you're swapping for a white armor instead. You never even used your Q and you just get picked off by Joey Blackout who's coming around the corner. So they can try to res here, but they're basically gonna all in on this fight and still have other teams that are coming because this Gibraltar ultimate, because Sentinels was in the vicinity as well. So this is very bad for their team.
Yeah, and we saw just before this fight, of course, Prodigy Aces, they were a little bit blocked out, but they finally made that rotation on the edge. And so they're going to be the ultimate recipients of all of this loot right now. As we swap on over to Liquid over here by Sorting Factory. Flanker's gone down. Here comes out the scan. There's 4 hostiles detected. There's 2 other squads that they have to fight off against, and it looks like another third party's coming in from the east here. So Liquid might have bitten off a bit more than they can chew.
That's not what you want to see. 3 means that there's a whole nother team. 4 means that there's 2 teams that are going over there. So maybe they're getting saved by this fight that's happening, or they're just going to end up losing their life. You could see in a good spot to go and try to defend his teammate. Reptar has his scan back up too. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him hit one more scan as they go and try to go for this res.
Yeah, there we go. Nock was able to make that slide jump on over. He's going to go for the res, and a lot of those nades might have actually covered the start of that, and so they might get this for free. The scan comes out. Here's the Wraith Q, and it looks like Flanker will be able to make it to safety and get that battery off with that shield.
It's a matter of where he got knocked. Great job by him and great positioning by the rest of the Liquid team to cover him as he was down on top of that roof. And so many teams playing the edge that they need to start thinking about how they're going to get in here, because zone moving in 50 seconds, you're still fairly far from where you got to go. Probably not much resources on either end because of the fact that you've had a couple of elongated fights. And that's exactly what Nocturnal's saying right now. He's like, guys, we got to get going. What if we rotate over here and we end up getting gate capped? That's not going to be good for our team. So they're just going to try to find the path of least resistance and get out of sorting.
And so they survived that. We're able to recover. And like you said, just the constant threats of a third party just stops the other team coming in. And so excellent recovery from them there. On board with TSM, this was one of the squads that was actually on the outskirts of that fight, looking to come in for that third party. But again, too many teams were involved in that. They couldn't take a clean one. And we know TSM, they understand the decision making. They don't take a fight unless they think they can win it.
1000%. And you saw aim assist, they were down. And something to keep in mind is when you are getting 50-50'd over and over again, that messes up your rotation big time. So they're not too happy. Yeah, they get those 3 kill points, but it's virtually impossible for them to be one of the first teams in the circle because they're taking so much time to fight. As we look at SJP2, who was able to recover here and get some of that loot, as you were saying, Jamerson, but they're still located in the same area. I would like to see these teams realize that there are so many teams in this vicinity. They need to do something, and they just waited around way too long, and they're still getting picked off now.
Yeah, that was just really greedy for that loot. You understand that so many teams were already in the area. So once again, it's going to be Prodigy Aces and Busby along with Joey Blackout picking up 2 more kill points there. But if we swap on over, TSM, they get themselves into a fight right now. Imperial Hal gets hit by that Gibraltar ultimate, and now he will go down. It's all up to Alberlele here, who will be able to finish off Serial along with Metro. He is now the new kill leader. Let's see. He should be able to get the safe res here. They've got a lot of cover to work with. And TSM now, they're sitting on 6 kill points total. If we go over to Liquid, though, it looks like Liquid themselves have gotten into a fight. The knock was there, but Nocturnal gets picked right back up with that Gibraltar res. They're going to try and back away. Almost gets hit by that Arc Star, but it looks like Liquid will be able to recover as they get right back inside Harvester.
Yeah, you can see, I believe, a gold bag coming in for flanker, which is huge for Nocturnal because then he's able to get out as fast as possible. You have Godsent get into a fight against Euris and Panda's team over there. That was the team that I believe was pressuring the TSM team too. So that could be on that side of the map, but instead it's actually more over towards the Harvester Mirage side as they try to rotate in towards the thermal station area. So Joey Blackout and all the rest of these guys still dealing with the crazy amount of teams that are over on this tree side rotation. Fortunately for them, they have a decent amount of stuff. They have good loot, they have good armor. If they can continue to steamroll this one, they're going to pick up a lot of kill points on the way.
Yeah, and here we go. We're seeing that south side edge. They're trying to play gatekeeper. It looks like might have spotted one person out. Taking a look at the map, there's actually a team that's underneath them inside the tunnel with another team rotating in from the northeast. So this is an opportunity for them to pick up a lot of kill points or just back away. Those teams on the low ground might just get into a fight. Now, they did already use this portal, so they won't have that. So that indicates to me that maybe they don't want to try and take this push.
They have a gold helmet if they want to try to get that faster. It's on the Watson, as you can see right now, on Bubsy. But they can't leave their back open. They have to deal with this team. And it looks like they're going to go and get a little bit aggressive, but you don't want your Watson being the first one to push up. Again, this is that same thing that we're talking about with Rogue, where you have one or two people watch your back as the Wraith goes and checks out where she needs to go and try to portal to. But like you said, no portal here. So you just go and start pinging little areas where you think your Watson could set up a gen, it's safe, and you can kind of just milk until you know where this next zone is going to be, and you watch what's unfolding in front of you. But when you go and you set up into that spot early, that means that this team is going to go and they're going to blow your spot up. They're going to basically show exactly where you're located. It's going to cause other teams to go and look at you. And that's why they were thinking about if they wanted to pressure that team and try to eliminate them early.
And it looks like they're trying to set up an angle for the teams that have to come out from that tunnel. And so they are holding off just a little bit to the left of the ridgeline here, as the south side, it's actually not as populated as I was expecting. A lot of it funneling over to the north side right now as we swap on over. Rogue, this is what we're talking about, that north side hold. They've got all of this high ground to work with. They've got two chokes that they do have to worry about to the east, as you can see. Sweet. He's got that G7 Scout trained on it, but he's also keeping an eye on his west here. Needs to make sure that he's not getting flanked.
Yeah, and this is one of the best spots to hold because the circle is going to end right below them a majority of the time. And you can see they're sharing this whole fence area with the other team. Very rarely can you hold all of that fence. And if so, if you do end up fighting that team that goes over on the other side of the fence with you and you're sharing that with, you're going to get third-partied from this other northwest side because of the fact that your spot is the God spot. So they're not going to really try to get overzealous here. That's why the scout is so perfect. And there's tons of fights going on over towards the south side of the map.
Yeah, it was TSM that was actually pushing through that tunnel. It looks like to the south, as Fuzby and Prodigy Ace's team will be able to clean that up. Fuzby did get knocked throughout all of this right now, as long with Joey Blackout, and it's just Prodigy Ace is still alive. We saw last time, of course, as he was left as a solo. Ooh, you've got nowhere to work with here. He's just going to go ahead and die to the lava. So Prodigy Ace's team, they only pick up 4 kills there before they ultimately go down. But one of the teams that they pick up, it's TSM. TSM going down with 6 kills there. Now on board with Liquid, who've been playing this north side now over by the Hot Springs area, as Liquid Flaker from behind gets tagged up. Where was that angle from? That charge rifle.
He got charged for a lot of damage right there. Super unfortunate. They're getting collapsed on by 2 separate teams. South side, southwest, and over towards the east side. They're going to have to make some sort of amazing play. Looks like they want to pressure the team in front of them and try to bully these guys out. If you rotate right, you know who you're going to be dealing with. That's going to be Rogue. You have 2 teams over there, so that's going to be fairly difficult to go and push through. They have to go left side and go underneath the train tracks here, and that's the area they have to play.
It's going to be very difficult, and that's exactly what they're going to do. But the problem is that, you know, we've got the omniscient eye. We know how many teams are actually in the area. There's another team that's playing over by that respawn beacon that they just pinged. And so they've got to be careful. Okay, actually see them there. And so they've only got 20 seconds to work with. Committing onto this could be a fool's errand, but they do have that zip line to get up top. They can get into the tunnel. But what do they do from there?
They don't have portals, so they can't make any type of play that they want. The best thing they can do is maybe take this portal or they just need to foot it. And as they foot it, they watch over towards their left side and the portal disappears. So they're not able to go and do that. There would have been Watson fences over towards the other side. So that would have gave up their position. And this is the fight. Fortunately for them, they're a much more superior team in terms of what their placements are and skill level would be. So if they take that fight, they may be surprised how easy it is for them to push in.
Yeah, we should go back to Team Liquid right now, though, because they are about to get into this fight. There we go. It's the fight over the tunnel here, and it was all about priority. And, you know, with this high ground, they were pushed up, and it looks like Temp's team wasn't able to push as aggressively as they wanted to, had to early bubble there, and so now this is going to be free for Liquid. Reptar, was it just a 2-for-1 with that Mastiff shot? There they go. They're going to be able to pick them up. Might have found a small little bit of corner to work with, but no, Liquid will be able to clean that up, and they've got a nice little pocket here to recover from and then make their next move.
I don't think they realize that this rat is hitting on over towards the corner. Shortly, Nocturnal will go and make his play. Instead, it's going to be Flanker going and pushing over there. He can't help now because of the fact that he just took so much damage. And look at this little sliver that final player was staying alive from, just denying that final and third kill point for the Liquid squad. But Rogue, we talked about how dominant the position was on top of the fence area, and it just continues to prove to be one of the best spots for the circle. Rogue has almost the entire circle on top of him right now. So as long as his teammates go and make the right plays here, they should be fine. I'd say Snipe Down's going to start rotating down there to set up any time now. It means that they're going to have to hold the high ground, and one person's going to have to stay down low.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult here as we swap on to MVP. They're the teams that actually have the zone right now. They have full control over this platform. They're going to go ahead and set up the Watson Jenny early. Their equipment looks fantastic. 2 gold armors and a red, as Madness is starting to set up a portal here. And don't know exactly why he's going for this port here. Oh,
exactly. No one knows. That was a very weird play. I think it was just trying to get information. Fortunately for them, they're not getting grief from behind. This is definitely going to be a Rogue versus MVP game. But if Madness can't full heal here, they just threw the game if that's the case. But it looks like he's going to be able to get the heal off. Hopefully gets this full med kit off and finds a safer spot. And he was probably using the portal just to maybe have more presence on that side and own more real estate. But that was very scary. You can see now you don't want to mess with Rogue when they have so many scouts. And this is it. 3 really great teams coming into this final circle. 5 teams total. On the Hunt gets popped. It all comes down to this.
There we go. As Reptar tries to push forward, he's got that hatchet out. Here's Johnny. No, here's a Mastiff. As it's going to be actually Liquid Flanker to pick that kill onto Dropped and Rogue. Just we're not able to get into position early enough. They've already lost one here. It's all Liquid, though, on the kill feed here. As they're able to pick that up, and now we're left with Madness, Pow, and Vax versus Liquid. Reptar's Complexity's Reptar and Flanker Knock. It's just going to be a full 3v3, but it's Liquid now with the armor swap for Nocturnal. He got the high ground, but they have a fence to work with. R9 spray onto the red Evo, and so he knows what he's exactly working with. As they try to mount on over, he takes so much damage. Flanker with the 1 clip, and now Reptar is going to push forward. The Gibraltar ultimate just covering their advance. Reptar takes a lot of damage, but they've got the numbers, they've got the crossfire, they've got the climb over. Melee to finish it off, possibly. Nocturnal will actually get it with the trade away, and Liquid take the victory.
It was all about that spray right there. I believe it was Madness that just ate a fat 160, 170 and gets cleaned up immediately. Great job by MVP getting to that point. They had another team that came up on the rope behind them. But wow, what a great job by Liquid and Reptar coming out and clearing out Rogue from their spot where Rogue didn't have nearly enough presence or fences and probably was focused on something else. They snuck over towards the train tunnel. No one checked that. They got there for free, and then they made their great play to go and own that spot of the map. Fantastic job from Liquid.
Yeah, I was trying to tell the observers to actually go over to take a look at a specific player on road because one of them was actually watching that tunnel. But like you mentioned, they took their eye off it just long enough for Liquid to be able to sneak in and walk in with that zone. And I think a lot of that pressure and the presence that MVP had drew, of course, Rogue out to them. And they ended up taking that fight first, and it just went all sorts of craziness at the end there. So congratulations on Liquid / Rogue. For taking the,
Complexity?
Liquid / Complexity. There we go. As they ultimately walk away with a 10-point game with a +12. That's going to be 22 for them.
Yeah, 22, one more point than our previous champions got in Sentinels. So another really solid game coming out from our winner there. And that was unfortunate for Rogue that they played the game so perfectly up to that point. I mean, I'm not sure the exact amount of time that ticked off the clock there, 20, 25 minutes, but say it was a 20-minute game and you have 18 perfect minutes. It's like kind of, losing in the last 2 minutes of a basketball game or the last 2 minutes of a football game. It's just really heartbreaking for them because of the fact that they were able to execute everything. They had the zone fairly close to them. So again, you look at these top teams where the zones are coming close, where it's close to Thermal, Amesis, they got 5th place. It's close to Mirage. You see coming in 4th place was Rogue. That's what you expect to see from these teams when you know where they land and you know how good they are at predicting where this is, and you don't have to go and rotate nearly as far, so you're not running into any type of crazy RNG things on the way or any teams that are coming in for a third party fight. So everybody executing very well, but to me that was the most impressive that we've seen so far in the tournament from Liquid, the way that they were able to just weasel the way in.
Yeah, I think one of the things that really worked against Rogue there is that, we were talking about how you can split that high ground, right? Sometimes a team will hold the East choke and then a team will hold the West. Rogue was doing that, and Impulsive Dreams team was holding out the East. There was plenty of time. There was about 3 minutes in the lull before the zone started closing where they could have really challenged for that ultimate high ground control. But again, that scramble, having all the teams funneling up there on the north side really worked against Rogue as they try to make that rotation in. Do you feel like some teams are just playing a little bit too passive at this point, or are they playing how they should be playing, Tom?
I think that Rogue's only mistake was just not having enough presence and not sticking together enough. Also, they didn't have a portal to go down to that spot. So if they were in a good spot to go and portal down to where that zone would have been, they send Snipe down over there. He's able to fence that area off, and then they can just push in with the zone and with the portal. But they didn't have their portal up, and that's why that zone was a little sloppy for them.
All right, that was game number two in the books, and that's means, of course, that's our halfway point. We're going to go ahead and take a short little break here, and when we get back, it'll be the second half of the North American Esports Arena Weekly. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest to the armor falling off. Oh god, all this gas making you cough. Feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you about, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain. Never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. 301 in my hands, different drop, same plan. To my squad, I'm the man, I'm a witness, no I can't. Sending shots, no spam, accurate, watch them slam, watch them run while they can, make them slump. Give me the loot, take what I want, all of my rounds, light like the sun, yeah I am the one, lighting you up. R301, you're all that I need, you're all that I want. We at the top, act like we scum, taking your life and leaving the crumbs. Do what we want, we get the dub, living that life, yeah, R301. I got the size, H code, make us civilize, no wrong.
As the Legion tries to push through, 9 Impulse coming up huge with that Evo along with that Caustic. They're going to be picking 2 kills off of BDS here.
Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest to the armor falling off. Oh god, all this gas making you cough. Feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, what you move, you about, what you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain. Never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest to the armor falling off. Oh god, all this gas making you cough. Feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, what you move, you about, what you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain. Never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah.
Clean them up. So much unanswered damage now as SJP2 are going to be able to clean up the remnants of Navi now. And the final player alive is Nocturnal, who is ready. They were pinging it the entire time, but Nocturnal stays alive. Sentinel getting reloaded here as it's going to be difficult. Contending, of course, with that Gibraltar arm shield that can eat up an entire shot, but the headshot, the 95 connecting onto him with the 147. Denze goes down, and now BDS are going to knock out one of the top comp former teammates fighting it out right now. Taishin and Mandy had to say goodbye to Matafe. Never got to see full North compete, but now we do get to see them battle it out here. Big damage coming across. He does have the Peacekeeper trying to lay into them, but he's getting forced and pressured out. He has to queue down, but Manditrasa and Taishin will be able to find two, and now it's a 1v3 to finish it all off. He's got the PK in hand. Did decent damage, and they're gonna get the melee knock onto Kuya. They just have to finish off the thirst, and it looks like Kuya is the final member alive, and North will walk away here.
And the rest of the team goes down as well. Snipetown might get taken out by Storm here. Nope, he barely makes it in. Last team, are they gonna drop? Snipetown's gonna just zipline juggle, and it looks like Saint RKN are just gonna have to take out a 50 HP Watson as he falls, and that is well played from the low ground team. Are they?
6 cents, yeah.
Are they gonna try to hit this rat right here? Good 100 spray from Hal. It's gonna be a phase. You might see a push from the other team. It's now or never for the other team. They might come out once they see the knock and the kill feed, but I mean, they're still, TSM's still very healthy. Nate comes in from the other rat team.
ladies and gentlemen, to the Esports Arena North American Weekly. Jamerson here, joined once again by Tom Tsquared Taylor, and we've already hit the half. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard here to see exactly what we're heading into for the second half of this tournament. We've got 2 games left, and the leaderboards are just, it's pretty stacked right now amongst the top 5. It's a very close game. And so Team Sentinels themselves actually they're still maintaining first place, by the way, but that's solely because of the tiebreaker right now, having finished highest, of course, with a first place finish. Right behind them, though, it is going to be MVP, despite not being able to take that W with the kill points that they were able to put up in game number 1 and game number 2. MVP are now sitting in second place, tied right behind Sentinels at 24 points. But Liquid, with their victory there in game number 2, they are now standing in third place at 23 points, Tom.
Yeah, I can't see the leaderboard, Jamerson. So what does the rest look like? Was 4th, 5th, or?
So 4th place is currently 303 Esports that are sitting at 20 points. And then IEMP, iPress W. IEMP, iPress, I just got that. I don't know why I was trying to read it as Empress, but yeah, IEMP, iPress W at 5th place with 18 points. 6th place has 16. Oh, wait, hold on. 5th place at 18, 6th place at 17th, and Aim Assist currently sitting at 7th place with 15 points. So it's still anyone's game here. No one has, taken away like a commanding lead.
Right. And the reason that is, and it's something that we touched base on over the weekend during the ALGS, and that's why there was such a discrepancy in scores, the way that Aim Assist was able to dominate the lobbies. No one has really dominated these first 2 games, which means when one team gets like 15, 18, 20 kills, like we were talking about before, they really just take all of the points in that specific game. And that's why they're able to really skyrocket into the top 3. But we see multiple teams having a chance here. So if one team is able to drop that big game, like we know that they're capable of, and that's why you can never count TSM out. You can never count any of these teams out because of the fact that they're able to just go and drop bombs. And we've seen a couple of teams get unlucky here or there. There's a lot of third parties coming in. That game was a little bit sloppy compared to the previous game that we saw that was fairly well executed from all of the teams. But we're seeing circles on that tree side of the map over towards that thermal side of the map. That's not even fair for a team that's dropping over towards Skyhook, for example. And I believe that's where MVP is landing unless they mix it up. So to see a team go and rotate from that far over to be able to go and have such a good game is a very strong statement to how good that team actually is.
Yeah, and so as also in another update, so Team Rogue and Team Solo Mid currently they're both tied in 8th place with 14 points. So like you said, you can't count anyone out yet right now. So the split between first all the way down to 9th place, there's only a 10-point difference right now, Tom.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And one of the things that I was taught as I started competing in the ALGS, which is the same point format that we go off of, that a lot of the tournaments go off of, is that as long as you can average 6 points a game, that's 6 points total based on your placement and your kills, that you're going to be within the top 10. So that's 4 games, 24 points overall is what you're going to see these teams like in the 8th through 10th range have. If you want to push further than that, that means you have to maybe make double the amount of points, 12 points a game, to be right around 24 or so. So we're looking at a lot of teams right now still with a chance to go and have that big game. There's 2 more games left. Like we know we're at the halfway point right now. So anything could happen. It really can. It just depends on who's going to make sure that they're playing discipline, not getting third-partied, going and being the team that's going to go in third party, or you're just getting your position early and holding teams out.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a lobby issue there, so we have a few more minutes before we get this next game started. Thank you all for sticking with us throughout all of this and, sticking with the delays. We will get this game underway. And you were talking about, of course, that point average. The winning team this weekend, by the way, we have to keep talking about them because they had a monstrous performance. Aim assist across 5 games, I believe it was this weekend. They totaled 83 points. And so the average there is absolutely nuts. And I believe they almost doubled the points up against the second place team. They ended up getting 83, and I believe the second place team had something like 46. So not quite doubled, but very close to it.
Yeah, I mean that's around 17 points a game. I'm not sure if my math is perfect on that one, but that's just absolutely ridiculous. That means that you're averaging a first place with 5 kills. That's unheard of. So a fantastic performance for them, winning 3 out of the 5 games. But they haven't really done anything too crazy in these first 2 games. And the main reason is because they're getting contested off of the respawn. So they're losing out some of the resources that drop over towards the thermal side, because you can assume that if this team goes and, grabs an armor and a couple of cells, that if they fight, they're going to pop a couple of those cells. They're going to use some of those syringes. They also delay your push by a minute, minute and a half. And you want to be done looting by about 2 minutes into the game and going and rotating out, especially when you have a Pathfinder hitting the beacon. So really screws with the rotation. You see a lot of teams going and contesting them, maybe because they want to be the team to beat, or maybe that's just an area that they're going practicing. But if I had to trade getting contested or not, I would say I would like to be uncontested, screw the 3 kill points, and let me go and loot and let me finish my route so I can go and play the game normally. So they're going to have to clean these kills up even faster if they want to get back into their groove.
Despite that, though, Amos is one of those teams that are a little bit slower on the looting path. Even when they don't get contested, there are
Right.
times where I don't see them rotate out of thermal until the zone starts closing, because they're okay with taking isolated fights out in the outer edges of the ring. But with the first 2 rings that we had, pulling over to the tree and then pulling over to thermal, they really didn't have the opportunity to, I think, play the style that they're normally used to, right? Rotating in on the edge, finding an isolated fight, and continuing to snowball those isolated fights into more and more as they walk in with the circle. They haven't had that opportunity quite yet. They've been, of course, having to take a lot of fights with a high probability of third parties, but they're still within this thing right now. Of course, right
Oh, no
now
doubt.
they're in 7th place with 15 points, and so they're still doing a decent job. They're getting the kill points. It's just they haven't been able to get that dub like we expect them to do. They still have 2 more opportunities to do it, though. We do have the lobby filled up right now, so thank you guys, everyone waiting at home. And as soon as we can, we will get this game underway. We're not talking just for talking's sake at this point. Here we go. We've got the lobby loaded. We'll be getting this game started just shortly. Remember, it was Team Liquid that took game number 2, but they are only sitting in 3rd place right now, behind Team Sentinels and Team
MVP.
MVP. So
Correct.
it's only 1 point separating these 3 teams, though. So again, I am so excited for these final 2 games. It might be one of those opportunities finally in an esports arena weekly where game number 4 isn't all hell breaking loose, and every team just pressing W. We might have a standard game for game number 4.
Yeah, I think that these teams are going to be so evenly matched, because I'm expecting Rogue to step it up here. I'm expecting TSM to step it up here. Shiny, Protectful, and the rest of those guys are going to step it up. There's going to be so many teams that continue to answer the calls here. Tech's team is going to go big eventually. I mean, it's a finals, so every team extremely talented, but these teams that continue to be on the low end when the circle's so far, I don't expect the circles to continue to pull tree side, to continue to play thermal side. I think that it's going to be more central. We're probably going to see like some drill site. We may see, some stuff over towards like epicenter. We haven't even seen an overlook circle in a very long time. So I hope that this circle moves over towards the other side of the map so we can see where these teams' rotations come in from, because we've seen what it's like when you have aim assist continuing to loot thermal, and they loot it for so long because it's such a big spot, and then you have Rogue coming in and they're finishing the rotation even before they're done looting. So taking a look at a couple of landing areas on where these guys are going, and we'll start off with Team Liquid, who won the previous game, and we know where they landed last time, Jamerson. That was over towards Geyser.
Yeah, and so this is the Liquid drop. They've since changed a few months back, right? And so they are going to be dropping over at Geyser, and it's a pretty central zone. Offers a decent rotation. You've got a lot of paths that you can take. Of course, here, pretty big split. As Knock is even going to go ahead and take this northern side, this western side, north of Sorting Factory.
Yeah, this is a good split. The thing is you have to loot so fast and get out, because Sentinels is going to be all over your ass as soon as you try to rotate out of here. So he's just going to try to hit this as fast as possible. Geyser doesn't have the best loot in the world. And for that little building, getting a blue armor, purple light mag R301 is huge. Now he can just continue to clean up here, finds more light ammo. So this is a great start here for Team Liquid in terms of loot as they get to split so many areas. But some action going on over towards Tree, and looks like they got to get out of here. And where they're going to run to, they're going to run right into aim assist eventually. So this is not a good sign when you don't have armor. If you're Carlo and board, you're stuck in a 2v3 situation, man. Almost like a 1v3 situation coming up here very shortly.
Yeah, so this was the squad Hierarcha, Postkill, and Chentric that were, of course, contesting aim assist over at Thermal Station. So they've made the swap themselves. They're now going over to Tree. They've challenged the team, and they won this fight out now. So this should be their drop for game number 4. And so a much better start for this team, being able to pick up that first kill. Now, if we could swap over to maybe a team like SJP2, Team 11, to take a look at the ring. SJP2, of course, they do like to play trials. They got a lot of great armor off of it, but there we go. Like you said, we're going to see a different circle this time around. The second ring indicates that we are going over to Fragment East. It could be Fragment West, as you can see the ping on the board from SJP2, that they're expecting it to be that respawn beacon, maybe even the market ring. But if you are a team that's not running Pathfinder, what do you expect out of that first ring?
I'd be going over towards Fragment, but then again, some teams don't want to go and play Central, so I'm not sure what each team's strategy is going to be. And you don't okay, so you see TSM busting out. Yes, Albrelli on the Pathfinder. I love to see it. Mentioned this earlier. I think he's the best Pathfinder in the world. He's going to go and rock this character as he should. They go and hit the beacon over here towards the no-name area. And this is when they're going to realize this lands in our home area. We need to go back, guys. We know exactly what buildings we're going to want to play. There's the 3-story building with the rope that you could play, which is a very good, powerful spot. There's the triple-story green building. And there's also the broken building that's across if you think that's going to rotate over towards the west side. So I think that if I was TSM, the first building I'd be looking at would be the 3-story right over where they're heading right west side.
All right, TSM, just before this, we did see that they were actually able to pick up that kill onto Reptar. Don't know if Liquid is going to be able to recover him quite yet. They're trying to do it as right now on board with TSM. They are making their way on over to Fragment East. But yeah, this was the squad we saw earlier on. They lost live in effect when they were challenging over at a Tree. TSM, yeah, this is the green building they were talking about. They should be able to hold this. Now, without the Watson, it can be a little bit difficult to really hold your ground here. But there we go. They spot one out with that crypto drone. And now Albrelli's already a bit close. He's going to go ahead and zip on out of there. Does not like being up close and personal against that squad. And he actually gets tagged by the nade.
Yeah, this is the spot that they're going to hold. But like you said, without a Watson, fairly difficult. They may want to say, hey, let's get over here towards this other spot and rotate across here and go for the broken building, which they've held a lot in the past. But Hal wastes his portal, and instead they're going to go hold here. So Crypto Central Circle with the Pathfinder, a little bit counterproductive, but we're going to see if they're going to be able to pull it off. Getting into the middle of the circle when you're not having a Caustic or Watson, again, very difficult to hold because you're going to get pushed from these teams that realize that they don't have it. But this is another early fight from the team that was dropping on aim assist, the EU boys, with Hierarchy getting out with the portal.
Yeah, Rogue themselves finding themselves in a little bit of trouble over here north side of Train, but good damage coming out from Dropped as really he's just deflecting this attack. They got that knock on to Snipe Down, but he was up in the tower and Dropped from this low ground position is just able to hold them off by himself. And so Snipe Down will get res. They've got a port to get back to safety as well if he wants to go up top, but instead he's going to go rotate to the north hand side. And so Rogue will be able to deflect that attack and stay alive for now. Remember, this is a squad that are still within things. They're only about 10 points off from the leaders here. They're even going to be able to get this world spawn.
Yeah, great job from Drop, just holding off multiple players by himself. Great R9 spray, backing off all those players. The other teammate, Sweet, going to go get the res on a Snipe Down. And now we see what the strategy is going to be for TSM. They back off over towards the 3-story building with the rope. Again, this broken building in front of them, you don't have nearly as much safety as a couple players are going to drop from the other team. You could see Hal just kind of posturing, waiting for information with the drone. So they're going to try to sit up here with the crypto, try to find out exactly where the fights are going to be, what buildings teams are going to try to set up in. And then you're going to see some armor checks coming in, which is just a couple of shots here and there to try to gather information to see if it's worth pushing that or not.
Yeah, so things are going to slow down here. Typically, what happens when we do have a fragment ending so many buildings, teams a little bit, of course, cautious to take any pushes here. But on board with SJP2, this is the final member of the squad, Kimzu, getting spotted out. And oh no, he tried to grapple away, but he gets body blocked and he will be finished off. That's Z Davis and Born's squad there. On board with Sentinels, they've made their way into Fragment West, of course, having that information to work with. And so they're going to be taking this north side of Fragment. They've got the diner, and they're trying to get some additional loot here. And so I don't know how many other teams are in the area. It looks like in the immediate area, it's just 2 teams holding over at construction to their south.
Yeah, a lot of teams probably not having the information that they need with the Pathfinder scan, or they're just not able to get in because everybody's trying to get into Fragment. So we'll see which teams are going to be able to pick the right building to hold into, because we don't know exactly which way this one's going to rotate. Once we get the next circle scan, we're going to find out a lot more information. But here's Sweet with the Kraber. Always fun to watch.
Yeah, and it looked like they were able to try to come in for this third party, weren't able to get any kills though, but additional loot for them. And you know, Rogue, when they're kitted out, they're absolutely monstrous and Sweet. We got to see what he did with the G7 Scout. Now he's got the Kraber in his hands, and so Rogue, I'm looking for them to try and pick up some additional kill points from long range with that one. Now, they do hear some shooting going on to their west, and so now they're on the quick rotation here, so they're coming in for the third party.
Yeah, I like this play, creeping up here. Watson Gen goes down just in case they need to retreat over towards this area. But they're not going to give any presence quite yet. They're waiting for the fight just to go on a little bit longer. No Nox went down quite yet. You see the portal there, so he's going to mark down for the Watson fence to go down there for snipe down. And this team here, because of the fact that it's zone 2, does have an opportunity to rotate all the way out the back if they want to. But they're not even giving him that opportunity. That's going to be aim assist getting pushed by Rogue. Fantastic aggressive play coming out from Rogue.
Yeah, aim assist just completely sandwiched. They were the teams that were trying to play gatekeeper here up against Euresis' team, and now they're the ones that are punished. They're completely finished off, and Rogue, they know they didn't get all the kills that they wanted, but they've got enough there. They're going to still be able to gatekeep them now, and this is the pressure that they're going to be underneath. As we go back on over to Liquid, though, they were able to recover Reptar. They got the res, and now they're pushing on through into Harvester. They've got a Gibraltar just cornered. That's a hero going down. Gonna get thirsted real quick by them, and here we go. That Bloodhound really opening up now as they continue to push forward. There's the scan. He spots him out, and they are on the hunt for him.
They are on the hunt. Looks like they're going to give up, though, a little bit. If they continue to chase, it's going to mess up the rotation. I do understand getting the 1 kill point, but you never know if you're going to run into another team. You could see going up the rope right there, not the same player. I believe that player had rotated over down towards the right, so maybe this is a little rat, or that's the fastest person that we've ever seen, and he was actually on the hunt as he was running away. But R301 PK, you could still see, I believe it was Nocturnal who landed over across from Sorting Factory in between Geyser, still has the same exact gun that he landed in from the very first building. So that's, again, just how good his armor RNG and gun RNG was with that purple clip. And that's why it's so important to scout on when you're landing over towards Geyser if you want to go and try to make a move and split some of the loot and steal a team like Sentinel's loot.
Yeah, and if we go back on over, TSM, nothing really happening over there. Of course, this is going to be the standoff that is taking place in Fragment East, but it's Rogue. We're still trying to play gatekeeper here. Snipedown runs himself into a caustic barrel accidentally. But yeah, the other team that ended up sandwiching aim assist made the bar rotate on over, and it looks like they're not going to be able to pick up anything there. Oh, Snipedown getting hit long range from that sniper. Does have to be careful here. It looks like he will be able to get under cover. Might have just overextended a little bit now, as the zone will start closing in on them. But hey, they had to go for that. They had to try and find the kills, as they were a little bit slow on the rotation. They're just committing to playing to the edge at this point.
Yeah, and again, there's nothing wrong with going and picking up kills when you're a little bit further behind and you know you need to drop one of these big games. So maybe they're playing a little bit unorthodox on purpose, or maybe they're just a little slow to rotate like we're talking about because of the fact that they've ran into some action that they can't turn down. But either way, we're on board with, back on board with Rogue. They're just trading meds back and forth as they're going to go and hold this spot and just try to scout around what's in this area, making sure no one's coming around their back. Because keep in mind, there was a fight earlier in that tunnel with aim assists, and I believe with Euresis' team. and I think Serial's on that one right now as well. So hopping on board with Gonset, they're over towards the construction building, which is another powerful spot. So a couple of spots where this can end. It could end over on the side that they're at, maybe more on the southeast side, about 100 meters in front of them. So that means that they're going to have to deal with multiple teams trying to split their building with only white armor. That's not the best situation. You can get third partied. But if they need to get out of here, there's a couple of good spots they can hold with a Watson. So it's nice and reassuring for them, even though they don't have the best armors, that they could kind of take any building or any little sliver of this map and lock it down.
Yeah, if we can swap on over, it's Team Liquid as they do have the port on in. Nocturnal setting it up as the Gibraltar Ultimate coming down now. Nock will go ahead and back away as that finishes it off, but this is an edge fight, and it looks like they'll have the scan very shortly. That's a big connect, and now they're going to go ahead and push off of that nade. They've got the scans. They know where they are. They've got another more second of information there. As it looks like it's going to be Nocturnal going in with that PK first. Huge hit coming on in, but it might be another team actually involved in this fight as well. I can't quite tell right now. Never mind, the scan's kind of baiting me a little bit as the 66 hit from Nocturnal. He's done his damage. Reptar will come in for that finish. Fat Fruit Ninja will go down. And now, looks like Reptar, another scan coming on in. And this is such an oppressive push coming out when you have all the information and the opposing squad doesn't. But Phony Head is able to clap back, takes Reptar down. There's the Thermite as well. Reptar's going to be finished off, I think, with that final tick. No, he survives for now as Flanker just runs through the charge rifle. Oh boy, it's all up to Nocturnal here. He's going to be able to full heal. And man, this push went south for Liquid.
So badly, and I think it is because another team's approaching. But if they would have cleaned that up faster, it would have been okay. Nocturnal could have stayed in that fight a little bit longer, and they were just farting around on the outside for a little bit too long. They needed to just kind of go balls deep into that one and clear these guys out. They had the Bloodhound scan. They had the damage coming in. Here comes the res from Nocturnal onto Reptar. Flanker's already been taken out. 20 seconds left here, though, with no portal. This is extremely tough. They virtually have to kill these guys immediately, and then from there, they have to run ASAP and just rotate into the circle. While they do that, they need to pray that no one's even gatekeeping out this side. So the percentages and chances of these guys getting out of this is going to be pretty hard. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, and so they tried to take advantage of that third party that came in, but they're just going to have to back away. Like you said, the zone's coming in. It's a little bit too much pressure. They can't clean it up too quickly here, but they can set up that gatekeeping angle. Nocturnal with an R301 playing at that distance where you're able to just do so much damage with it. Now they do have the Watson Jenny down there. They could have held on as Reptar with that. Oh, the charge rifle shot's just absolutely connecting here, but now he's getting tagged up, does have to back away as they're going to continue to push back now. Again, they've got the pressure of the ring as Chentric will go down. And it looks like Liquid, they will be able to recover. Not Flanker, though, as he will get timed out very shortly.
Yeah, and you could see the ring just destroying these guys. There was no chance of them getting out of there. I'm not even sure if Nocturnal and Reptar were able to pick up the kill points from that. Hopefully they were able to, because they were able to get some damage down, and you could see 3 kills overall coming in from Reptar. Not sure what he had before that. Switch on over to Team 15, though, and see what these guys are up to. That's going to be Crummy and Squad, as they're in a pretty good spot with an Evo armor and a Scout. So going to definitely be able to charge this one up to red. However, what's going on with the rest of the map in terms of where they got to rotate is the big question.
Yeah, they did have Liquid in their sights as Godsent now actually sending it on MVP as it looks like it's just Pow once again alive by himself. So Godsent with a great push there, able to take control of this building, the construction building. Sentinels gave up the top side of that building as well, and it's still in the ring. Nocturnal is going to be forced to use that Phoenix kit as they're getting zoned out by now. We saw, of course, Crummy, Blur, and Matt Pickett really try to gatekeep them, but Reptar, once again, this charge rifle has been connecting time and again for them, and now the shoe is on the other foot here as Nocturnal, he smells blood on the water, and he wants to just, give him one tit for tat here. Pushing forward now as he doesn't want to allow them to get the res, and they've completely given up. Matt Pickett will get finished off.
Almost a portal play to get Pickett out of there, but the portal just a little too shallow, and Pickett couldn't get his Gibraltar hefty self through that little barrier. underneath the tunnel. So now it looks like we have a crypto drone being in play, which means that's either Tech's team or that's going to be TSM. This is happening on over towards the market. Continuous scans going in back and forth, and then the drone gets hidden over towards the corner, and it looks like that was TSM as they've rotated to one of their other buildings that they've held so many times, is this broken building. So this zone, exactly as we were predicting it, is going to rotate right around where this area is, right where Nocturnal's standing. It's going to go more or less over towards a truck that is located right behind him on his southeast side. So most of the teams should know that that's going to be the zone, and everyone's going to kind of posture around based on that information.
Fight over here by Market, though, on the north side of Fragment West, as Pride actually lost out on Premier, and now the zone pressuring them. He's able to get that bat off, so they push forward. It's TSM coming now in for the third party. Euresis squad will get finished off, and Hal enjoying that one. Just a little bit too much, has to be careful. Alberlele will be able to cover him. Premier goes down, and looks like they might have just finished this off. No, Imperial Hal is the one to go down. Alberlele able to stay alive, though, as they should be able to punch him into the
They need to
zone.
punch him in.
Yeah, no, well, it's not taking for that much. He should be able to climb in. It's Crust actually taking a lot of damage here from the ring, and Sentinels now on the northeast side. And take a look at that. The ring does pull just over to that respawn beacon that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, so this area right here, there's a couple of good spots to be in, and the tunnel is one of them. If you're able to rotate from the tunnel over towards where the respawn beacon is, or if you're able to hold the respawn beacon with a Watson and maybe a Caustic with some fences and a little bit of the building that TSM is in. So if they want to rat over towards a small little corner of this building, they're going to be able to. So smart job by TSM to pick up this early rotation. And now you see a portal play being placed down, and you can see the Caustic barrels are just waiting for them. So no rotation can come in over towards that spot. If you're Prodigy Aces, Bubsy, and Joey Blackout, they're going to have to find a different way to rotate into this zone.
Yeah, you were talking about, of course, taking that tunnel right there, and it looks like that's the play that they're going to have to go for, even though they tried to rotate to the south instead. They will have to commit to this, and it's going to be TSM's job to try and gatekeep them. So we'll see how good of a job TSM can do. This could be easy, of course, free points for them. TSM have the slow side of the circle, while the Prodigy Aces, Busby, and Joey Blackout will be under a lot more pressure. The circle closes a little bit faster for them. And we'll see if they can get in safely here at this
play
point.
Here. This is the other play option that they had, and I'm glad that they're taking it, but that's way too early if you're Prodigy Aces, literally giving up the play that you're going to make as he goes and slides down. But it looks like early was the play, as Vubsy going to slide in as well. They're going to need to place a Watson Gen down here, and they're just holding into this little crevice. But the Watson Gen needs to go up more towards the truck, because right now they're not exactly in the zone. So heads up play to go and take this angle as they avoid TSM. But Sentinels versus Godsent fight happening on top of the train tracks.
Yeah, and it looks like it is getting traded back and forth as Euban has gone down. It's all up to Senox once again to try and keep this alive for the Wraith, but now he's getting flamed from another angle. He will go down. And take a look, Reptar is still alive for the Liquid team. We got full three-mans in TSM, Prodigy Aces, and Z Davis' squad, as Reptar is going to try his best to rat this out for as long as possible. With the pull to the south, though, we'll see if Prodigy Aces will be able to clear out Reptar. It's up to them to really find this out, but he's not making much noise at all, and all the attention is up to the north. There we go. They finish him off. Stuni will actually pick up that kill for Z Davis and Borton. So now it's just a full 3v3v3, and they have the priority on the ring. They're keeping the other teams to the north at bay. That's TSM to the direct north, and of course, Prodigy, Borton, Z Davis, and Stuni to their northwest.
And this is where the crypto is going to come and play for reps in the TSM squad. I guarantee he still has it. There it is. He's in the drone gathering information. 76 headshot coming in. And they do bust out the ultimate right there as the big grapple coming in from Alberlele. But looks like they're not able to clean this one up. They are weak over towards the side. I'm curious to see why they're not doing this a little bit late. They send that onto that team without being the team to go in third party. They could have forced those two teams into fighting each other. Very early play coming in for TSM, basically ruining the game for the team that they go and hit with the crypto all in the EMP, and virtually giving this game on over to Borton, Z Davis, and the Stunning.
I think one of the ideas was that, of course, this is a Gibraltar Caustic team. This is a team that's supposed to win in the late game. And so TSM didn't want to try and take that risk of coming out in third place. And so they took it upon themselves to at least secure second along with some kill points instead of trying to take that fight up against the Caustic Gibraltar team. And so ultimately, it is going to be, of course, Borton, Z, Davis, and Suni taking game number 3. And so our leaderboards continuing to be shaken up as they ended up with 9 kill points themselves along with that win. So no team really able to kind of keeping the middle ground there, right? 9 kill points, 10 kill points. Ultimately, with that plus 12, that's going to be huge for them. So we're going to have another team now competing, I think, for the top 5. Liquid, though, with that performance, being able to rat out to 5th place might have put them very much closer into first. But I don't want to do that math. I don't want to look like a fool on stream, and so I'm not going to do it. But again, this is a really back and forth affair. It's so hard to tell who's in the lead right now.
Yeah, very nice job by Reptar to go and rat that one out, picking up a couple kill points on the way, 8 kill points, 4th place. Just a very, I would say, uncharacteristic TSM play. When you see these teams in the very end circle and you say, okay, it's TSM against 2 other unsigned teams, you think they're going to go and take that one, but that's why they're going through these little growing pains with trying out the crypto. I don't agree with using the crypto vault to go and try to initiate a fight when there's 2 full teams. I think that you scout with this crypto drone. I think that you try to force the teams, you scare them, you use them to waste their ammo, give away their position on exactly where they are, and you force these 2 teams to fight. There's no reason to be afraid of a Caustic, a Watson, a Gibby at the end. If you're a crypto, the EMP is going to cancel out all of those things. There was no portal play. There was nothing along those lines. It just seemed to be, okay, let's just try to manhandle our way in. And that could have been a huge game for TSM. They left, potentially 6 points on the board in terms of kill points. They also missed out on a handful of placement points. That was the game they really needed in terms of being able to get that confidence going into game 4. Yes, it's a decent amount of points. They're still in it. They could very well win this next game and win the tournament. It's just rare for me to see the best team in the world not play as expected. Nothing against them. I still think they're just amazing. They're way better than me, obviously, but I really want to see them work on this timing with the drone or figure out how they want to go and play this end game, because once they do that, it's going to be some of the best and most fun Apex that we ever see. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, in the past, very few teams we've seen really explore the crypto option at length. And one of them, you played with Six, his squad Rebels, tried to run that for a while, and they ultimately noted that the execution of it can be a little bit more difficult. Sometimes the timings, can be really off. And like I agree with you as well. Using that EMP to clear out the 6 traps that would have been down by that Caustic would have been huge. But of course, you also have to contend with the fact that there could have been a Caustic gas grenade. Usually, you have the Watson with the generator that will kind of negate that. But of course, without that option, there's a lot of things on the line. But again, we're talking about TSM here, still a fairly consistent team. They're really good, of course, making it up to the top 3, top 4 in most matches. It's now about, again, changing their tactics a little bit, getting a little bit more aggressive in the early game, which is what we're seeing. Now it's about finally executing to the late game and being able to close out the games. And I think once they figure that out, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with once again.
Yeah, crypto kind of falls off at the very end like that. But while you were able to land a huge, nice little ultimate there, like you said, the Caustic gas, the smaller the circle gets a little bit more dangerous. Even if you're able to land the EMP on all 6 players, it's not going to be enough to take all of them out. Someone's going to eventually end up healing one of those other teams. And as you go on to the other team, which they did, that's where the third party comes in from the other guys that just got finished healing. They're still going to have resources. So whoever kind of holds on to their ultimate the most at the very end of the game tends to win. But I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to force the hand, trying to be aggressive here, trying to clear out this team, maybe armor swap, go and push through. Like you said, you don't want to deal with a Gibby ult, you don't want to deal with a Caustic grenade, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, you'd have to think you could still win these things. And also, if there ever is an opportunity to go and fight in a Gibraltar bubble, go and take that opportunity. And you know that these teams are going to be able to do so. So trying out new things, seeing how they work. Again, crypto really kind of falls off for these end circles, especially if he's not executed correctly. But that doesn't mean that they can't still go and win this thing. So still a lot of good teams in this race. I would say about 8 teams possibly still able to win this one, and also a couple of surprising names popping up as well, like Z Davis winning game number 3.
Yeah, again, even though a lot of these players are unsigned, they've been grinding as well. And so we've got to give them the props for being able to take these victories in these really stacked lobbies when you're going up against the likes of TSM, Sentinels, Aim Assist, Liquid. It takes a lot to be able to
Yeah,
hang with
Rogue,
these. And
everybody's
so,
here.
yeah, so shout out to them for being able to take that victory again. Really great fights coming out for them, and I want to see exactly where we're standing. I think we do have the updated leaderboards, and apologies once again for the delay. We had to reset the lobby once more time. We're repopulating it right now. We're getting all the players in. We should be able to get them in shortly. But I'm taking a look at the leaderboards right now, and with the kill points that Reptar was able to pick up, it is Team Liquid now in the lead in first place at 36 points, and Sentinels now have dropped down to second at second with 31 points, and it's Resident Sleepers that are able to make it up here into 29 points at third place. But you cannot rest on your laurels here. It's game number 4. There are too many teams that are still within range of taking it into the top 3. Hell, even taking the win, as I can break it down
easily.
even further. CLG, that's Team MVP, excuse me, are sitting in 5th place, right behind TSM at 26 points. Prodigy Aces team we saw right there at the final, they're at 25 points themselves in 6th. So this split is so close right now. 303 Esports and IEMP iPress W, they're tied for 7th and 8th at 23 points. So it is anyone's game. You pop off, you hit 17 points in kill points, and you get first place. You can take the W. So this is one of the closest finals that we've had for game number 4.
Definitely. And that all comes back to a different team winning every single game, and also not a lot of kill points being taken from the team that's winning. A lot of kill points spread out. You're seeing, again, Liquid being able to get 3rd or 4th place that game, maybe even 5th, and get a lot of kill points. That's the reason they were able to do so. And ratting it out, like you said, Reptar doing a fantastic job. You see just a little jack-o'-lantern running around over towards the res beacon, just being extremely annoying. I was wondering when he was going to finally get taken out. So
he's fighting
great
all
job.
urge to press Q because he's been playing that Bloodhound, pressing Q on.
I know. It's just going to show where you're at. It's just going to immediately show where you're at. He's not really looking for kills at that point.
Yeah.
He's just looking to stay alive as long as possible and just get that 1 or 2 more kill points here in this lobby, because everyone else is so evenly matched in terms of points. But it seems as slow, I guess, as TSM has played compared to their normal standards. They're just one good game away, and a lot of these other teams are. And you look at a team like, for example, Resident Sleeper. I think these are the guys that really deserve to get that recognition right now because of how often we talk about the other guys. So like you said, unsigned team with Z Davis and the rest of these guys. Borton, Z Davis has been the recipient of constant team changes, hasn't had a consistent team, a back-to-back team in any single tournament that he's ever competed in. So the more that they're able to feel good about themselves by playing good today is going to really help their team and their chemistry just in general overall in the future. And that can just do so much for a player individually and for your team, where you can finally feel comfortable. You don't feel like you're constantly doing tryouts, and it's really just a nice peace of mind, so you can really focus on what you have to really improve individually, and how not only you can improve individually, what are you going to change individually that's going to apply to the team that you're currently on. So big win there for these guys on the Resident Sweepers in game 3.
Yeah, we are going to go ahead and take a short break. It should be a very short one here as we finish out filling out the lobby. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll have the conclusion, and hopefully we can hop right into game number 4 right after this break.
feel like I'm caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patient we wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. I'm noxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your back. I feel like I'm caustic, looting your buddy, your homie still choking on gas. I'm laughing, beating the enemy, hoping they pick up your slack. Yeah, winning now feels like a thing of the past. Your props are gonna throw up the glass, we take what we want, we leave in the trash. Racking up facts as we move through the map, we're waiting for people to follow my trap. Running through the swamp, don't take what we want, check it out, living some 50 game, what we owe, and man, through the door, flat line, like you up, always getting what we want, but it never is enough.
Finances are controversial to those who lack imagination.
I feel like I'm caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patient we wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. I'm noxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your back. I feel like I'm caustic, I'm breathing on gas. They're on the smoke, patient we wait to attack. I feel like I lost it, I see through the gas. I'm noxious, I'm knocking, yeah, I'm taking your back. I'm throwing out cans, I'm betting you won't. Peacekeeper making you dance, you know I'm the GOAT. Champion squad, every time that we go, this legend control. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. I'm throwing out cans, I'm betting you won't. Peacekeeper making you dance, you know I'm the GOAT. Champion squad, every time that we go, this legend control. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. Yeah, hey, I climb to the top. I climb to the top, no matter the toll. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh god, all this gas making you cough. Feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you a bot, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. 301 in my hands, different drop, same plan. To my squad, I'm the man, I'm a witness, no I can't. Sending shots, no spam, accurate, watch them slam, watch them run while they can, make them slump. Give me the loot, take what I want, all of my rounds, light like the sun, yeah I am the one, lighting you up. R301, you're all that I need, you're all that I want. We at the top, act like we scum, taking your life and leaving the crumbs. Do what we want, we get the dub, living that life, yeah, R301. I got the side, stage cog, barrel civilized, no rock. Standing mad, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. I got the side, stage cog, barrel civilized, no rock. Standing mad, more shots, standard stock, ready pop. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh god, all this gas making you cough. Feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you a bot, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah. Ooh, like the 301 hum, bats of bullets off your chest till the armor falling off. Oh god, all this gas making you cough. Feeling caustic when I drop, leave your body in a pile, let it rot. Shield cells got a lot, watch you move, you a bot, watch you fade like a thought. Skull town where I bang, watch your life, watch your drain, never getting off the train, never drop another game, yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Esports Arena North American Weekly, where we've got $1,000 on the line every single week. And it's only the top 3 that are going to be placing. Jamerson here, joined by Tom. And before we head into game number 4, our final game of the evening, we have to talk about it once again. The split right now between the teams. Liquid sitting up top at 36 points. Sentinels now in second with 31. Resident Sleepers at 29. But so many teams are just right behind them in third place.
Yeah, James, can I just talk about how cool it is that you're offering $1,000 of your own money every single week to these tournaments? Crazy, man. No, just
yeah. What can I say? You know, I answered one of those blue check marks on Twitter. You know, and I actually came up as I got some Bitcoin back. No, I didn't. Please don't send anyone Bitcoin if you've got any. Do not send
Yeah,
anyone
please
Bitcoin right now.
I can't believe. Let's talk about how crazy that was today. But yeah, I mean, we're in the finals, and this is going to be absolutely insane because this is so evenly matched in terms of the leaderboard. So many teams. I would say 8 teams have an opportunity to win this one.
Yeah, 8 teams indeed. And still Rogue. They're actually now in 9th place with 19
Okay, 9
points.
teams. 9 teams.
They're 4 points behind IEMP, I Press W. Ultimately 16 or 17 points behind Team Liquid. But we did see Liquid get dropped on, or at least one of them did. I believe it was Reptar that went down to Imperial Hal. So, Liquid cannot rest on their laurels. They were able to recover expertly there and make it back in to that game. But if we could go ahead and join Team Resident Sleepers here for game number 4, that's going to be Team 19, I believe. They were the squad, I believe, that took that last game. This is aim assist. There we go. Let's go ahead and see where they drop. It looks like they are, of course, indicating over to Overlook. And so that's why they were able to set up with this composition, really holding out the north side of that ultimate last circle and being able to walk things in. And so they're going to have Overlook to themselves, or maybe not.
I think they're getting contested, and maybe they're getting contested from a team that couldn't find a landing spot in the previous game. But this is not good for Resident Sleepers because they want to be able to loot this as free as possible. Not sure if they're getting landed on quite yet because I haven't seen any shots going down. But yeah, Q coming out from Stoonie. That means that there is a team over there. You have Burr Flavors getting knocked on Matt Pickett's team. Matt Pickett not running the trusty Mirage this time, and it's going to be Stay Naughty taking him out. So not a good way to start this one if you're Crummy's squad, and they're going to have to reset. But without any armors, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, there we go. Hostile detected. Only the one. Which has to leave you wary. Are they setting up a flank from the right or from the left? As they're just splitting up here, trying to get whatever loot that they can right now. And we have to remember that TSM are also in the area. They are over at Fragment East, currently looting it up. And so they could come in for this. TSM need a big game here as well to maintain, of course, their presence right now on the leaderboard. Like I said, TSM, they were in 4th place. They can play it slow, but I think, trying to get these early kill points, again, practicing for this kind of play style that they're really trying to bank upon. But as we swap on over here, as we have Post-Kill Chentric and Hyarka, they actually got aggressive as I believe they were dropping tree and already made this rotation in on to the squad that's dropping at Sorting Factory. Chentric took a big hit. That's Peach coming in.
Yeah, they're bullying this one team, but they didn't realize they're running directly into Sentinel's land, which is going to be over towards Sorting Factory. That's going to be 2 knocks coming in from 2 separate squads from the Sentinels team. So they pick up 2 early kill points to start this game. You could see Matt Pickett and Crummy were picked off by the rest of Naughty, Metro, and I believe Serial is that 3rd player that's going to be on that team. But now they're trying to reset if you're Hierarch, chasing onto Sentinels, as Sentinels had to fight multiple teams. So they're going to continue to chase down this Gibraltar. I'm not sure if this is the fight that they want to take right now, though. Sentinel's very skilled team. You do have the right armors for this one. Here comes the pinch, and it's going to be an all-out bloodbath here in the middle of Sorting Factory.
They do have to back off. They've got this bubble to work with, but no, that Thermite's a little bit too late, and he might be taking some damage. No, Senox is the one to go down. Hyarka surviving with a sliver of HP, and somehow they're doing it. Crust will be able to get that knock onto Post-Kill. Peach with the, oh my gosh, the triple take. We'll be able to finish it off, secure that win, and they'll be able to grab that beacon. They have a respawn beacon right there to work with.
The only thing that's going to stop this is exactly what's happening. Another team coming in from the dome rotation. And that's just so unfortunate for Sentinels. They have 2 kind of inexperienced teams, I would say, running directly at them from tree, still fighting, not even where they should naturally be fighting over towards the respawn, which just calls out, hey guys, elongated fight over at Sorting Factory. Anybody within the vicinity, please come and get free kill points. It's exactly what 303 decided they wanted to do.
So Sentinels are knocked out. They don't get any placement points, but they do have 4 kill points at the very least. And so that's going to help them hopefully try and stay within the top 3. But like we said, that split amongst the top 9, it is not that very far. And so we'll see. A lot of other teams have to do poorly here. If we can go ahead, let's go ahead and swap up things just a little bit, see if anyone's got the ring information for us. And if we go over to TSM, actually, Team 8 right now, they do have the ring for us. And this one, it looks like Might pull to the crates to just north of where TSM are sitting as they're trying to control this choke point.
Yeah, directly behind him over towards the crates, which means that they're in a prime position right now. Unfortunately for Hal, he doesn't have the best loot. Flatline with no mag, massive, not sure what kind of bolt. This would be a great spot to have a scout. Without having a scout, they're going to use a scout of their own, and that's going to be the crypto drone. But this is the type of area where you want a circle to end if you're playing crypto, compared over towards Fragment, where a Caustic, a Watson, a Gibby team is really going to utilize these up close team fights and also the zoning ability that they have with their passive abilities. So I like this circle for TSM. Again, they're in a very good spot in terms of the points they have. They just need to make sure that they're getting at least 15 to 20 points on the board if they do want to get into that top 3. So now switch on over to Rogue and snipe down. He's doing it big on the Bloodhound.
No, let's go. And I think there is a squad very close to them right now, but they're just trying to secure this drop that's coming in for them. I don't know if they know that there's a squad in train yard, as well as their only thought is to secure this. If they get the Devo, that's going straight into Snipe Down's hands.
Yeah, I would hope so. They're just baiting this one right now. You have a very stacked R9 coming in first suite. Now he's going to start to rotate over there. Doesn't even drop his guns. Very rarely will a gun drop that early. Typically, it's like a gold bag or even like a gold helmet. And you kind of get milked on these early crate drops. They don't seem to be as stronger as the ones that are dropped in the late game. And this is not a good spot for Godsent. They're down with the Watson ult. That generator is gone. You only have white armors again. So unlucky. Every time that we're on board with Godsent, they virtually have nothing and are poverty and getting shot at constantly. Seem to be the center of attention in almost every single one of these games. And there it is. Hierarchy gets taken out by Impulsive Dream, and Euban's just going to try to hide in the flames.
Just an absolute garbage fighter of a game for him at this point. And he's just trying to recreate it now. Kupski is going to be left to his lonesome here on this Wraith to try and keep this alive for as long as possible for his team. There is an opportunity, if the team doesn't, of course, camp these banners, for him to try and recover and maybe run it all the way over to Epicenter for a respawn or something, but it's going to be so difficult here. I feel like a lot of teams are just going to try and hold on. Back on board with 303. This was the squad that came in for that third party, able to finish off Sentinels, as Phonyhead is going to go ahead and drop down that Gibraltar ultimate, and that's going to keep them contained into this building.
You have
But
two
as you can
teams
see-
here. You have one team inside Jamerson and another one on the outside backside. That's why he threw the ult. This is
They do
3
have to be
teams.
careful. Yeah, they got to be quick on this, but do they have an exit strategy? Because I believe Team Liquid are going to be coming in for the flank as well. It's Aim Assist coming in. That's that third team, as they're the ones fighting inside right now. Do back off just a little bit. They got a lot of damage off. They've got the natural regen, of course, but the nade was forced Resulta back off here, as now they're going to go ahead and push to the outside to try and recover. It's going to be 303 to take out Resulta, and now they're going to push forward here with the Thermites coming out with the nades as well. Designful taking so much damage now, and it looks like the cleanup should be done. But Sonar detected, and they know a third party's coming in. They're just going to go ahead and get out of dodge.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to get the full kill points on those. You can see 1 kill point fully secured. We know that that Bloodhound is either going to be at this point Liquid, or it's going to be Snipe Down coming in from Rogue, because only 2 Bloodhounds in this game. Let's take a look at what Team 3 is doing and see what these guys have in store for us as we talk about 303, making the rotation around to the opposite side of the choke that TSM's at.
Yeah, let's go ahead and swap to Team 3 right now if we can, as like I said, they were coming in for that third party, now playing on the second story building here. They're gonna go ahead and make their entryway, but oh my god, Reptar got slapped down. That's gonna be Imperial Hell with that massive holding it out, but Nocturnal now coming in with the flank as he catches him out, only hits him for 21, but the armor is broken. Just have to watch for the backside. They're gonna go ahead and punch him in. Hal gets finished off, and TSM will go down, it looks like. And so they're not going to be able to climb up, and it looks like Liquid might be able to secure this one if they continue to do this well. It's Rogue now pushing in, though, as this team is still cornered in this building, as Sweet will be able to finish them off. That's Shiny and Muffins and Protectful going down, and so much action taking place here in the second ring, as we've got the Sonar detected. Another team's coming in.
Just really unfortunate for TSM that they leave that choke. They think that they can go in third party this, but that fight took so long. There was 5 to 6 teams just over on that side of the map. TSM comes in, another team comes behind them. They probably weren't expecting it. You had the Bloodhound scan coming in, from the guys on Rogue, Snipe Down specifically, and they're able to finish off what the rest of the aim assist guys has started in 303, making a smart play to get out as well. So I really like the heads up plays for majority of these teams. Meanwhile, on board with MVP, seeing what they have in store for us, they're taking over the spot that was over towards TSM side. So you can see that choke very fenced off. This is the second best area to play if you're going to try to predict this circle over towards the blue crates and those 3 crates that spawn right there where that player is located. This is where we're thinking the circle is going to end. If it doesn't end here, you're still in a nice spot to rotate back and forth. You can keep players out towards fragment, and you're controlling the side choke as well.
And if we swap on over, there we go. Rogue now. They've got that scan. They're going to go ahead and push forward. Looks like they might have lost the targets there. There we go. We see it ourselves with our X-ray. On the low ground, there is a team here. I'm not entirely too sure who that is. It might actually be Liquid that's there on the low. So Rogue, all gold out. This is quite the loot to have.
Yeah, you don't see this very often, if ever. 3 gold armors coming in, very strong. Means you're able to even tank the circle. You're able to win these trades even faster. And it is complexity on the side. So we may see a little Bloodhound on Bloodhound action here.
But we already know what the armor difference is. 3 blues versus 3 golds. Don't know if they really want to try and take this fight right now. Of course, Bloodhound versus Bloodhound. Never thought I would see the day.
It's like that Spider-Man meme when they scan each other.
Everyone just stops in their tracks because they know
And
they got
points
scanned
at each
too.
other.
All right, so it looks like this fight is actually going to fizzle, and Liquid are going to be able to maintain this position at the choke. There is a actual solo that's to the south of them, and I'm so surprised. It's MLG Board, who somehow, throughout all of that, with 2 Bloodhounds in the area, did not get scanned the entire time. And so somehow he found the ultimate wrap position for his team.
Nice job by him. And I like this rotation coming in from Liquid. They're in first, if I'm not mistaken, so they need to make sure that they're not getting eliminated, and you have to consistently watch the kill feed to see which of those teams that were in second, third, fourth pose the biggest threats. And the longer that you can stay in this little Royal Rumble of a fight that's going on top of World's Edge, the more chance that you are going to have to win this one. And look at this. Great grenade. Free kills coming in for Reese. Great massive shots as well. Very, very nicely executed.
Yeah, picking up 2 there, and you gotta imagine the comms don't come through Portal, but there we go. He is now the new kill leader. Reese picking up 3 kills onto Naval Serve, lists a lot, and a tempo. Just easily done there, taking out that team, and they've got a lot of this edge to work with. Now, they have to be careful. We know that a lot of teams are controlling the choke points here, and there is one just to the east of them right now. I believe that might be MVP that are looking to try and gatekeep them currently, and so they've got a lot of time to work with, but again, it's about finding a way to get in. Now, they do have options. How could they get in?
I would just zip towards that fight that they just saw and just try to big balls your way into fragment and see if you could pick up the third party that was happening over there. Speaking of third party, I have a fight happening over here between 2 of the top teams in our lobby right now. That's going to be Resident Sleeper being taken out. Z Davis gets taken out by Reptar and Flanker. They grab the armor as well. They're probably looking for the rest of these players. So very smart rotation, really paying off for them, because not only do they get a kill, but it's on a priority target from the team that's in third place. So taking a look at what Rogue's doing, they're in a bubble fight here. Triple gold armor still, obviously. A Snipe Down is going to be the first one to push in. He gets taken out immediately, though.
He does get taken out, but he's done a lot of damage. And oh, now it's just come down to Sweet, and Rogue just gets swept under the rug. And all of that is going to go over to 303. All those gold armors, everything. And Rogue somehow lose out that fight.
Yeah, not utilizing the gold armors there, just a little too aggressive inside of the Gibby bubble. Could have used that opportunity to poke. You don't really want your Bloodhound going in first. Maybe Snipe Down thinking that he was going to lay down more damage than he actually did, but you noticed a lot of automatic weapons going against Mastiffs there. Mastiffs inside of the bubble are far more superior than these automatic weapons, and you can see now the res going on to Reptar in the middle of the road with the Gibby bubble, and just action all over the fragment side as this third zone is closing.
Yeah, this is just the third zone, by the way, and we're already down to 8 squads remaining left in this lobby, as a lot of these teams understand they need to put up big, big numbers here. And so We are seeing adjustments coming out from everyone in this lobby right now as the ring starts pulling in. We got 29 seconds left here. So on board with Pride, Trucking, and Premier, who have this nice high ground position, try to play gatekeeper, but the squad inside that building aren't any under any pressure to actually move out. Now it's them getting flanked upon. Premier going down to 50 HP, has to be careful. Trucky will go ahead and push up for him, but he has to back off himself as the sonar detector come out. That's going to be Team Liquid playing under the bridge, I believe, of all places right now, as they are looking for more kills here. They're going to go ahead and bubble forward as they want to push up. Reptar will pop that battery, slowing things down, and that might have been too slow. Flanker, as he pokes his head out of that bubble, he will go down. Nocturnal, though, will go ahead and hold the line for his squad. They're not going to be able to get that res, and Liquid will go down. That's going to be Metro and Naughty to pick up those kills here. Liquid, they were in first place. Will they be able to maintain it after this? It's another third party coming in as Metro has to back all the way up. He gets up onto the second floor with that nade down, but this is going to be the longest 10 seconds of his life as he tries to Phoenix this up. It's Trucky, Pride, and Premier who are able to recover. But take a look, another team coming in. And that's going to be, of course, a crypto team. Nades out now. They have to be careful. Dodging the damage does Premier, but how do they get out of here? It's got to be Tech to take him out from the window. Dropping down now. They have to hold this low ground, but they're taking so much poke damage. Only hitting for 26 now, and it's all three members pushing into the building. Premier down to 50 HP. Only gets a 20 HP purple armor. There we go. That's the fresh swap, but again, it's going to be a 1v3 here as he's trying to survive for his squad. Hits a nice 78. There's a 26, a 39 onto Tech, and now it's actually Reese. It's a 1v1. Premier with 20 HP tries to pop that bat. No, he holds it with the massive, takes him down, and he survives. He is the new kill leader with 5, and we are down to 5 squads left, 13 players remaining.
What a job by Premier right there. Gonna go try to find the gold armor that he lost earlier. Fantastic 2v1 with the Mastiff. Just so shocked that he was able to win that one, but so perfectly executed in terms of using his teammate's shield, using the Mastiff to try to hit collateral damage with, using the stairs in his head peak angle, recognizing the damage output that he was doing as he was cracking multiple shields and doing the math in his head on how much more that he had to do. But I think the most disappointing thing that we saw throughout all that was Team Liquid, who's our team in first place, getting too overly aggressive, and then they end up getting taken out in, I think, 7th or 8th place. So the question is who's going to be in position to possibly catch up to these guys and milk the points? Remember, Resident Sleeper, I think, only lost 1 player. I'm not sure if their complete squad is down or not, but the team that looks like they're in the best spot by far right now is 303. Remember, they came into this building about 10 minutes ago, and this is not a spot where you want to push. There's about 400 shields on the ground right now.
That is one hell of a nest egg. They are definitely saving up for a new house with that. There's another purple armor here. So yeah, 500 extra additional shield for them to just swap around and bait teams in with. Is he going to pull out another armor? Okay, I was about to say. I mean, you might as well. Things are going to be slowing down. And take a look at the pole, Tom. It goes right onto their building. A little bit of triangle is still in.
Yeah, and that's why you saw so many teams posturing for this house, predicting where this circle was. TSM had the choke down. They were smart to go and hold that, but then they realized that once these houses started to open up, they wanted to go and try to push their way in. They didn't realize that so many teams were going to come in behind them. MVP in a good spot with this red armor on Madness. Keep in mind that they've had a good game before that ended on over towards the thermal side, so they have a decent amount of points. If they're able to get some more kill points here, unfortunately for them, they don't have 3 or 4 kill points on Madness right now, which means that these guys would have around like 8-9 kills overall. A lot of these kills happened inside of Fragment where they weren't even to be found. They were waiting inside of this area to try to go and just wait for the end game. So here's a nice rotation coming in around the zone. This is one of the more difficult spots to push down this hill. They do find a nice little rat there. That's going to be Board, who lived for so long. And that's 4 squads left. So you have the 1 team here, 1 team in Dorito, and then you have 303 located over towards the big building. We got to find out where this 4th team is.
Yeah, MVP is holding in that double story right in front of them. Oh, right into that Watson trap. But of course, he cleanses with the Q, and he's going to be able to get that speed right back. They've got the low ground being challenged here, and he hits a huge heady, but it's not going to be enough. Powell is able to slide in, for that Mastiff shot, and now they are up against it as Trocky is going to try and cue in with that Pathfinder grapple, and he does find a nice little angle to work with. Is there another squad? There is here on the south side as he gets challenged, and now they're just down to a duo here. Every other squad has a full trio. Oi Senpai, a nice spray down with that R9, poking away at the team inside Dorito right now.
Yeah, Dorito and Fence seem to be the play. It looks like Trocky is going to get taken out outside of the building. You're in such a good spot here with all of the gold armors. That kill should be free as they continue to chip away at the knockdown shield armors on top of armors, even an extra gold armor. I don't think I've ever seen an extra gold armor just sitting on the ground for an available swap. But here comes the aggression. They're going to leave those armors because they see the opportunity for the third party to come. This is it, Jamerson. This is the final fight.
Yeah, they see those trades, and they are going to go ahead and take advantage of it. 3-0-3 with a massive game right now, and they were still within contention. They were one of those teams that were within the top 8, top 9, and they've done so much damage. Now it's all down to 2 squads left. Prodigy Aces, Vuzby, and Joey Blackout versus Oi Senpai, Fury, and Phony Head here. And it looks like they do have they've got such a huge advantage. That gold armor, they've got the Gibraltar to work with. They're just going to go ahead and reset as they didn't want to try and push into that building. It looks like the ring does pull away from Dorito. They're going to have the zone here as both squads are actually in here right now. Prodigy Aces, Joey Blackout, and Vuzby still on blue armors. But we saw the turnaround. 303 did this, of course, I believe, to Rogue earlier on. Rogue lost that battle. And so we'll see which team blinks first. Now, we do have the Gibraltar ultimate coming out. Don't know if Vuzby has an ult for this, and it doesn't look like he has a generator, but they're just going to be able to go ahead and pull off to one side to stay alive.
Yeah, and if this is a heal off, you're not going to win against the gold armors. So I'm curious to see exactly how they want to play this one. I'm also fairly surprised that they were able to get out of Dorito onto the building for free, just taking the roof, which is the superior position. But again, the gold armors, if you play this correctly, you're going to be able to take a tick of the zone, and then you're going to be able to hit a final heal off if this does end where they split on top of the house. I can't really see exactly where this one's going to end. It doesn't look like Prodigy Aces and Joey want to let it get to that point, which I wouldn't either. I would go and try to push here with the PK, especially try to choke that thing up, land a big 120 or so, and see if you could push off that.
If it pulls away from the building, they might have an opportunity to try and trap them off in the door. It does look like, though, Fury should be able to get his portal out in time. He's at 74%. We still have a minute and 26 seconds before this ring closes. So, yeah, he has plenty of time to get a portal out. And so even that trap wouldn't work for them. But, of course, they could at least force that issue, try to get a trap onto the portal as well, the exit portal as well. But yeah, everything is just stacked up against them right now. They will be able to set up a path zip line for this, and we'll see exactly how this one plays out. No nades in the hand of Joey Blackout. Doesn't look like Prodigy Aces has any himself, nor does Vuzby. And so taking a look on the other side, no nades as well. So it is just going to be a pure gunfight here between the squads.
Yeah, and this is an exciting ending because you have 3 gold armors against 3 blue armors, but then again, you have this PK, which should just be able to wreak havoc in this final circle if they end up pushing outside instead of going for the heal off. And like you said, I don't think they're going to be able to. They have to push outside here in order to do something. And there's the portal coming in for Prodigy Aces. He's just going to lay it down any second here. Puts it right at the entrance of the door so they can't exit, and they would have to portal up on top of that, which means they're going to have to lay down fences on both sides of the portal. I would even like to see the Watson go and try to make a play by putting the fences down low already, and then you have the Peacekeeper coming in and just watching the door. So no fences on the outside portal, which is going to be a big deal. Here comes the bubble play. This is the exact play that they needed to do. They avoid the area, the shots coming in, Fury immediately taking out Vubsy, and 303, just fantastic execution.
And that's why you need to learn how to bubble fight right there. Excellent focus fire as they were coming in, holding down the line. 303 taken with a massive, massive game. I didn't exactly see what the scoreline was, how many kill points they picked up, but you have to remember that before this game, 303 were sitting in 7th place with 23 points. That puts them 13 points behind Team Liquid. Now, even though Team Liquid picked up a lot of kill points there, they didn't place particularly too high. So that's at least 12 points. So that's a 1 point difference off of just placements alone. And so there is a chance that 303 might have actually snuck their way, if not into the top 3, maybe even taking the victory today.
Wow, and they put up a lot of points, Jamerson. Look at that. 11, 14 kills overall. So going to go and drop, what, 26 points? That's the most we've seen all day from a single team when they were very close to Liquid, only 11 points behind. That's definitely going to put them against Liquid. The only question is it going to be enough to place ahead of the teams in second, third, or fourth? And I think it will be.
Yeah, Liquid got 3 kill points along with an 8th finish, which I believe only gets them 5 points there. And so, you know what? I don't want to do the math. We're gonna go ahead and take a short break. We're gonna let our admins do all the math, do all that for us, and then we will have the final results for you guys. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in just a few moments, and we'll have the results for our weekly North American 1K tournament here at the Esports Arena. We'll be right back, guys.
out. Patient, we wait to attack. I feel like I've lost it. I see through the gas. I'm knocked, I'm knocking. Yeah, I'm taking your bag. I feel like I'm costed. Looting your buddy, your homie still choking on gas. I'm laughing, beating the enemy, hoping they pick up your slack. Yeah, winning now feels like a thing of the past. You're proud to go throw up the glass. We take what we want, we leave in the trash. Racking up facts as we move through the map. We're waiting for people to follow my track. Running through the swamps, don't take what we want. Check it out, living some 50 game. What we owe man through the door, flat line like you up. Always getting what we want, but it never is enough.
Finances are only controversial.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we do have the final results for our tournament today, the best of 4. But before we do all that, Tom and I want to walk you through some of the highlights that we've had for the day because today's games were absolute bangers. And so let's go ahead and roll some of our highlights and see what our production team was actually able to get for us. Because again, there were fights left and right, but it looks like, yeah, this was that fight that we saw taking place in Fragment East.
Yeah, this was an amazing shotgun play coming in from Premier. Totally whiffs that one, only 26. Has the gold armor, but you can notice Pride is down. He's not able to connect on these. Great job from Tech getting a leg shot. Goes to swap the armor. It only has a little sliver of purple. Thinks about using the battery. Finds a full purple finally. And this is the key right here. This is why this clip's so great. A nice 70 on the no shields. Breaks the shields there. And then tries to go for the collateral. And just a fantastic, fantastic job there getting the knock. But this is the money shot right here. Just amazing, amazing use of the shields.
This brings me back to what was it, the X Games, right? When Reps and Hal were able to clutch up off of a shield to get that win. And these are fundamental plays and fundamental things you have to understand and how to play if you want to compete at the highest levels in Apex Legends. And that's just the classic, really playing around that shield, expertly kiting. This was Reese, though, just holding it down. All 3 members pushing through, of course, that portal and taking so much damage. Great thermite, and he's able to just finish this off. Did a lot of damage.
It's really as
Just a
easy as it's going to
1v3.
get. It's as easy as it's going to get for your Reese. I mean, his teammates were pushing the enemy team into the portal, but it's always a nice feeling when someone's so flustered, they come out of the portal and they punch the air at you. And there it is. 303 Esports taking first place. Second place, Team Liquid with 41 points. And third place, that's going to be Dream Team. So a new winner here, Jamerson, if I'm not mistaken, on this week's tournament.
This is going to be 303 taking their first victory here at our North American Weekly. So congratulations to them. They'll be walking away and splitting $500. Team Liquid, though, just short of it. Just unfortunately, they got caught up in too many teams, too many team fights coming in, and they do go down. And they were so close, just 8 points splitting them. But they will be able to, of course, split $300 between them. That's going to be going towards, of course, complexity as well. Reptar will be picking up a few $100 or $100 there. And then Prodigy Aces team coming up in third. And take a look. We saw at the beginning of the game, Sentinels just getting aped upon by what, 3 or 4 teams over there at Sorting Factory. And so even though they took an early lead, they were sitting at first for the majority of the evening, they were not able to make it into the top 3.
Really unfortunate for Sentinels. They were looking like the next best team to Liquid, but it's all about 303 taking their first win here. And a lot of that happened over across from Sorting Factory where that zone ended. They have about 1,000 armor shields down inside of the building where it ended. There was zero chance of them misplaying it. They knew what the opportunity was for them. They landed a perfect bubble. They went, pushed into that bubble, won the 3v3 cleanly, and got just enough points, 8 points ahead of Team Liquid to take first place. So congrats to them. Congrats to all the teams for making it. And yeah, well played. GG's.
Yeah, but that's not it for competitive Apex. There's a lot going on. So make sure you're also, of course, following up on everything. The GLL tournament, of course, continuing. That's going to be taking place tomorrow, I believe. EU starting off really early, NA in the afternoon. I don't have the exact times, but make sure you're watching that. And of course, our own Daltouche, who joined us for 2 weeks of the North American Weeklies, will be having a tournament that you yourself, Tom, will be competing in this weekend.
Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. That's going to be a fun one. Playing in that one with Casper and Noko. Big props to them for inviting me onto the team. Super excited for that one. And yeah, thanks to everybody that watched, and thanks to you, Jamerson, and thanks to ESA for putting these on every week. It's a blast.
Yeah, we do this every week, twice a week, Tuesdays for EU, and of course, Wednesday nights for NA. So be sure to, of course, if you're not following us already, to follow the channel and follow Esports Arena as well on Twitter. That's all of it at Esports Arena. But that's going to go ahead and do it for us. Once again, congratulations to 303, Team Liquid, and Dream Team, our top 3 for North America this week. Once again, everyone here at Esports Arena, for Tom and myself, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good night.